right, welcome back, everybody. We're at the latest session of Invasion. I think this is session 11, too. It's kind of crazy to think about. We've finished our downtime episode. We'll go over a little recap of what happened there. Before we do that, I do want to give a shout out. Today's Tuesday, so that this launched as well. But we actually had our own Dash and Keith on Dungeon Jedi Masters podcast this week, and just post that up for an interview with him regarding Stranded and just other Star Wars 5e goodness. So go check that out if you guys haven't. But also, let's get into the game. So this is a 11th episode of Invasion. We're actually going to be kicking off the third Patreon adventure today, and kind of diving into a little bit of a mystery that Vars was presented with, learning that the Mandalorians, in their ever expanding quest to fill out their armada, captured a Crusader ship, and aboard the Crusader ship, they found Wookiees from Kashyyyk. But the interesting thing with them were the Wookiees and also a mixture of other species as well. But the very interesting thing was that aboard the ship, the Wookiees had taken some other Wookiees and other beings upon Kashyyyk and turned them into slaves. And the slaves within the cargo hold all had the same implant they'd come across before from the invading Yuzon Vong species. So Vars' contact requested that they come out to the Wheel, which you guys learned was a pretty much an independent zone within the galaxy. It's one of the few that's in kind of no man's territory and is completely independently owned and operated. And it's one of the few spots where many of the galaxy's factions can kind of come and interact. Also learning, too, that it's a pretty big trading port with casinos, people with coming from all over to trade their goods without taxes or regulations from the galactic governments, be it the Republic, the Hutts, or the Sith Dominion. It's kind of a good way if you kind of pay your dues and make sure you don't ruffle the wrong feathers to find something nice and be able to sell it at a good price. So that's where the crew's heading off to now. But a little bit of a recap from last time as well. They wish to meet one of the new party members to the crew. While the Republic, we'll have to figure out what the Republic crew was up to at the meantime, but the rest of the crew got to meet Uli Exarden, where the gardener got to do a little bit of downtime fighting in the pits of Bespin with mixed results. He got paid to take a dive on one time, but the other time came through and won a few bouts. And he got to meet with Talus as well as Vars and kind of got to know each other a little bit more, finding that Uli is another representative of Zerka. And they got to meet with the beloved director, Jen, and learn a little bit more about what's going on with Zerka, finding that Zerka, due to their Sith friend, Galvin, had learned of the control devices, the kind of Uric coral slave implants, and we're looking to find ways to understand it and potentially replicate it, just to make a little bit more profit for their margins. After kind of discussing that, the crew went about their ways and completed the rest of their downtime on Bespin, then prepared to load up in the Nova Kana to hit the hyperspace and make their way to the Wheel. Before we do that, I don't think we didn't do the Republic downtime, so I'd said you guys were getting medals from the Republic team, and the rest of the team got Chewbacca and didn't get invited. But what were the Republic operatives up to during your 2 weeks on Bespin?
Yeah, so I just now realized I was not here for that session, and I did not think about this. So what did Dash do as I buy time for my brain?
Okay. I can go first.
Go ahead.
All right. So that the lad who just would not die from last time, the Chazra.
Hmm?
Yeah, Caesar's gonna be messing with him, trying to see if he can get a bit of that spark to come back to him. Yeah.
Definitely. So, and I forgot to mention too. So the crew, while dealing with or kind of on their way to hyperspace, had two different approaches to dealing with the Chazrak. Talus poked and prodded at him. He tried to do some scientific study for the alien, and then Vars just kind of tried to taunt him, and then I think punched him at least once, but I think he punched him a couple of times.
How did it react to being punched? Nothing or something?
Did not react. The further they got from after getting into hyperspace, and the further they got from the planet, the less it kind of became a power down droid, for lack of a better word. Still breathing, still alive, and apparently conscious, his eyes open, but not really responding to external stimuli, even getting rocked by a Mandalorian in armor.
Still nice, though.
In that case, if he stays basically catatonic despite Caesar's best efforts during the ride there, then he's gonna pass it over to the Republic so they can do some. They can understand the enemy a bit better.
You said the Republic, right?
Yeah, the Republic.
Okay, I want to make sure. So definitely, so once you guys make your way back, there are definitely a good Republic presence. Captain Kerr will help kind of navigate that and take in the Chazrak and kind of make sure they bring him to the Republic Research and Analysis team to see what if anything they can learn from it.
And any word on the Yuuzhan Vong warrior that was captured?
Oh, that's Kerr was able to keep him alive, and they've kind of turned them over to the Republic as well.
Good to hear. Good to hear. In that case, Caesar's downtime on Bespin would kind of be unwinding after the death of Gert. I struggled. I can't. It happens every time I try and say Gert's name for the first time in the day.
Say
where
like
I keep trying
yogurt,
to
but
go-
leave off the yo.
No. I'm just like, yes, Gert. Gars? No, Gert. Gars.
Well, if it makes you feel better, I mixed up Vars' name with the enemy Carvas in one of the streams, so he had that below his title for session 7 or 8 sessions.
That does make me feel a little better. But he'll honestly just be celebrating the time he had to get of his life. He'd hop bar to bar, wouldn't cause too much trouble, vibe to some music, just celebrating a victory, celebrating Gert's life, and celebrating the fact he did not die. Anyone and everyone would be welcome to join.
Yeah, so Dash. Oh, I'm sorry.
So Caesar, you're going to pull a dine and dash in honor of Geert?
He won't dine and dash,
Okay.
but he will take quite a few drinks for the lad.
Speaking of drinks, don't forget you guys have you got the whole distilling, or what's it called in this? The alcohol making kit. I forget what it's called in
The brew kit.
It's brew, okay.
Yeah, it's brewer's kit.
So that's still on the ship, and I think you had like 4 or 5 different drinks aboard the ship.
So I was just gonna make whatever like your main governing stat was. So like Garrett would have had the one for force points though, so I gave him extra force points. There's one for force points, tech points, and then all of the stats for a booster. So if you just need to know, I actually wrote it down, so you can just ask and I'll tell you which one it is.
I just want you all to know that drugs and alcohol are bad.
Unless they're prescribed by your doctor. Wink. Wonk.
Oh yeah. And as we discussed last time, I forgot how many different doctorates Talos has, but he has a ridiculous amount of doctorates too.
Let me just roll a 1d100 plus 50 to.
Sweet. So for Caesar, so you're kind of anything else outside of like hitting the cantina to honor Geert that you want to do on your 2 weeks off?
No, man, that probably take a good amount of time in Apollo's cantinas. But would there be anything else? I guess some he'd probably offer to do some miscellaneous paperwork for the Republic, just getting some of that looked over, getting some of that done.
All right, so I'm going to split this between 2 weeks. So we're going to have 1 week with you working for the Republic, and Just one week of you hitting cantinas and maybe seeing what you find as you drink around with the other citizens of Bespin. So for the first one, roll me a your choice of persuasion or performance as you kind of socialize around with the citizens of Bespin.
Could it be intimidation? Because I imagine he'd be telling some of his war stories. If not, I'll go with persuasion.
So what type of war stories is Caesar telling to these people?
One's unfiltered, uncensored, and absolutely the times he's had with the going with the Dominion going against the Republic, as the Republic going against the Dominion, and some of the stuff with the Yuzong Fong that wouldn't be classified.
Okay. Yeah, so yeah, roll an intimidation check, especially with you kind of talking to some of the Yuzon Vong recent encounters and stories.
Oh, I had disadvantage on that's funny.
Oh, nice. Yeah, so you scare the hell out of some of the people at the bar as they hear about coral implants, planets being destroyed, Republic and Dominion fleets alike being wiped out, brutal invaders who fight on through pain. You've freaked them pretty well out. All right, roll a 1d1 or a d100 for me.
Truly, I kid you not. This Unchazra could not die. We even have him back up the ship right now. I'm about to turn him into the Republic very soon.
You see just the citizens of the galaxy just horrified, like they're sitting in there, like one of them is just like nervously drinking like a ridiculous amount of, like he's just chugging liquor with kind of a nervous twitch. One of them just has this blank expression on their face. There's a little younger human, 23ish, just like literally just like shell shocked from the stories you've told.
Can I add a slight addendum to that, with Caesar telling these stories?
Oh, for sure.
Are you afraid? Good. The greatest feats of bravery are found in cowards. Now, if you are truly afraid of what they'll do to you, your loved ones, your family, and your republic, grab a gun, grab a uniform, and fight. Otherwise, you can sit here, wait for them to come, and die.
All right, roll a 1d100 plus 20, I believe. Yeah, plus 20.
I rolled a D100 and
I?
got a 28. 48 if you add the 20.
So you see these guys are scared. The guy that was nervously drinking says, yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll join up. And you see he kind of like finishes the rest of his drink and he like beelines out of the bar. The shell shot guy just kind of just nods and just continually, he's just staring at you blankly for the rest of the encounter, just nodding and just completely out of his element. Fortunately, those are bad D100 roll. You don't make any hostile contacts, but you don't make any new contacts, and unfortunately, no recruits for the Republic.
That guy didn't join, or was he denied?
Oh no, he drank, beelined it out, and just avoided that whole situation.
I see.
Sweet. So so you said you wanted to do some paperwork for the Republic?
Yeah, since he wouldn't, I doubt they'd really let him in command of a lot of soldiers due to his previous affiliations, and because I imagine, despite being the Gungan guillotine, he would know paperwork. He'd have to justify a lot of his actions on paperwork before, so he'd do that for the Republic, just like here's what happened here and here. This is where this and this is going. That kind of deal.
Perfect. Yeah. So yeah, the Republic, especially with the Fifth Fleet decimated, there's an abundance of need for research and paperwork. So they gladly take the Gungan Guillotine's assistance and set you up in one of the tactical analysis rooms. We're able to kind of dig in and kind of start figuring out what's going on around the Republic and helping them analyze and put that all together. So roll your choice of investigation or investigation, lore, Investigation of lore for you as you kind of go through and try to put together all these various pieces of data from the Republic Tactical Room.
Caesar very much wants to know how the Republic operates in a lot of things, so I imagine he'd use this as a very big learning opportunity while also applying the knowledge he basically learned in his time with the Dominion, comparing and contrasting. So I feel like investigation would fit the best here.
Perfect.
24. I've been rolling low for several days in a row. My time is now.
Hopefully, your D20 or D100 roll goes as well. That'll be a plus 15 to your D100 roll. Let's see what you find.
I am in immense pain.
Oh, that's shitty. Oh, sorry, this is D100. Shit.
Oh, my bad. No wonder it was a 7.
There we go. That's better. Oh, you find one piece of lore. So as you go through and research, you're able to kind of connect some dots. And I imagine Caesar you're probably looking into the Dominion a little bit as well, kind of seeing what they're doing.
Yeah, he wants to figure out if they are thinking of launching an attack against the Republic, what the signs are, as well as he wants to make sure that the Yuuzhan Vong are turned against the Dominion. Like, if possible, him directing any traffic of the Dominion into the Vong or vice versa.
Definitely, we're not able to find information about the Vong, but you are able to find quite a bit about the Dominion. The Republic Intelligence Network is kind of in a little bit of a tizzy right now with everything going on in Dominion space. They're trying to figure out exactly what's happening. Because you know this, so especially Caesar, you were a Dominion officer for a time. Darth Dominus is pretty secure in his position within the Dominion. There's very rarely any revolts or uprisings, and usually if they are, they're put down pretty hard. But it's been a while since even some of the other Sith have tried their hand against him. But you found that Dominion's not acting like they usually do. You found that there's been a purge within the Dominion, both armed and political forces, being led by the Sith Galvin that you guys rescued from Bela. So that Tolan's Sith that you guys freed has been doing a bit of a purge of both military officers, politicians, and you heard rumors, and you're not sure exactly what happened on planet. But you've heard rumors of them executing a base Delta Zero operation on one of their planets in the Outer Rim. Caesar, you know what a base Delta Zero means. It basically means that they brought some Star Destroyers in, and they just came to one of their planets and began decimating it. So they basically made it so that no inhabitable life will be able to function on that planet any longer. And you know, that's usually not Dominus' style. He's willing to beat people, but he usually lets them bend the knee if they can. But they went to the planet Kali, and they kind of let me ping it on the map too. It's if you look, it's I or J3 on the galactic map. So Kali, and you know they went there and they bombarded it. It's people, the planet of the people of the Kalish, and it's no longer able to support life. Republic intelligence has kind of gone through. They're in a bit of a tizzy. They don't know what's going on with Dominion. A lot of people are theorizing that Darth Dominus is losing control of his people between the Purge and the kind of the just overzealous attempt to quell whatever is taking place on Kali. But so far, the Iron Curtain of the Dominion has kept too much confirmation out. But the sources have been able to report that military officers and politicians are dying right now, and Kali was bombarded, and nothing but ash and cinders remains.
This makes Caesar a bit nostalgic, but there's one of two things happening. Either this Sith has started to become corrupt with the Yuuzhan Vong's methods. There might be something in his blood or something within him that's turning him against all this, or he could be trying to make a name for himself with a heavy hand. And it would probably Caesar would take both possibilities into consideration, but he can't help but feel nostalgic, as I imagine he also had a very heavy hand early on in his career. So kind of smiles to this, nods, and knows there's a new player on the field that he will have to sharpen himself against.
Definitely. So I'll make sure I'll post that in our thread too. There you find a little bit more about what Galvin, your freed Sith's been up to, and Vince and the Dominion. But also with those intelligence too, the Dominion is strengthening its borders, but it hasn't been as aggressive. With your time in the Dominion, you know how they wage war. It's kind of nonstop attack, 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 attack. Usually they're not much for the defensive play. But the attacks have slowed, and they've been really strengthening their borders. Kind of unusual for them.
Makes sense. They might understand what the Yuzhan Vong is truly capable of, and considering how that is, they can't be fighting so many battles on so many fronts. So Caesar would understand that, but he wouldn't quite like that. He doesn't like the idea of Galaxy going into a bit of a Cold War stalemate kind of situation, even if it is to take care of the Vong. So he's concocting a couple plans in his head to kind of make use of this information and keep things rolling out in the galaxy.
Perfect. So we'll switch over. Dash, what was Dash getting up to for those 2 weeks? Or
So-
Caesar, do you have anything to add?
I wanted to ask how appreciated Caesar's paperwork is in the Republic.
So usually, Caesar, you've always gotten kind of a lukewarm reception with your time in the Republic. But especially with the Fifth Fleet decimated, the Republic in a bit of chaos. And I forgot to put in the session notes, but you guys also would have seen too what's going on within the Senate chamber on Coruscant. Basically, high-level summary: both Master Kalu and General Vet are getting grilled by the Senate and being kind of they're being blamed for the mess ups, with different politicians going for different reasons. You saw one of the senators from Alderaan blame the military and their incompetence. You saw the Supreme Chancellor Ovano blame the Jedi for not being aware, and probably blaming this new faction on just another force-using sect that decided to come in and mess the galaxy up. So you got to see all that going through, and kind of long story to answer, but they're pretty grateful for you jumping and helping. They're still not their favorite person, but they definitely need the assistance right now with all the chaos. Sweet. So we'll flip over to you, Dash. What's Dash getting up to for those 2 weeks?
So Dash would have told the crew that he's meeting up with some Coaz buddies that happen to be on planet that he hasn't seen in a while, and so he would go and spend a day with them. And of course, what they always do when the Coaz group meets up is they buy lots of spice and lots of booze. So he'd disappear for a few days until finally, since it's just 4th of July, we all have this picture in our head. People that do stupid things because they drink too much and they have fireworks. Okay. So shooting fireworks under his legs, jumping through the streets. He would have made a bunch of homemade fireworks and been on lots of spice. And you would have shown him pop up on the news running butt naked through the streets with nothing but a backpack on his back full of fireworks, just doing stupid things until finally the authorities apprehend him. Captain Kerr has to bail him out. And then the second week will be him working for Captain Kerr to pay off the debt from the fines, and also the fact that he might have lit a speeder on fire. Not proven, might have happened. So
you guys see just tons of news reports about this. It goes it's usually it's kept on Bespin initially, but you see it does reach kind of some of the galactic news networks. It gets on the Republic News Network, RNN. You see pictures of Dash streaking down the street with just fireworks exploding from him. And you see kind of below that too, this man was at Vela. What happened here? What's the Republic hiding from you? And just kind of blasted around. But yeah, Kerr does bail you out. You see, he's like he kind of like shakes his head at you. Come on. And yeah, he's gonna put you to work. So he is putting you to work. You're going to be drilling his explosive units. So you're going to be he has he gives you like a little aide who's supposed to be kind of your assistant, but you kind of guess he's your minder a little bit as well, keeping you on task. But he does want you to teach kind of bomb dismemberment to some of his crew. So give me a demolitionist kit check.
All right. Let me see. Demo kit. All right.
All right, now roll a D100 to see kind of just how your training goes with these Republic recruits.
Nice.
Solid. That's plus 15 too. Yeah, plus 15. So that's 92. So that goes pretty well. Yes, you go through. What's a little bit of his Dash's lesson plan for some of this bomb dismemberment for the Republic crew.
So none of this at this point would have surprised Captain Kerr, but there's a reason they keep him around. And so literally his lesson is it's all these students who it's their first time handling any type of explosive, and it's supposed to be just something that just has like a little pop. And instead, he takes a very sophisticated explosive that'll blow up the entire room, arms it, throws it in the middle of the room, and says, "You've got 30 seconds, figure it out." And he's counting down, standing next to it. 5, 4, and it gets to 1, and one of the students disarms it. And he's like, "Good job." And so one of the students asks and says, "Was it going to really blow?" And he just looks confused, like, why would he have something that's not going to blow up?
So you see that entire time, the Twi'lek aide that he sent with you is panicking. At first, he was like pretty chill about it. He's like, "Oh, that's not going to blow up, right? Yeah, we're in a public base. That's not going to blow up." And I just imagine that Dash is either just stonewalling or smiling. What's Dash doing as he asks those questions?
Like, he would just be like genuinely confused, like, why would I have a bomb that's not going to blow up? Like, what's the purpose of that?
You see him get on his cop like, "Captain Kerr, Dash, that's doing. He said it's going to blow." I can't tell if he's joking or not. He just keeps asking me, "Why wouldn't it blow up?" And you see him on there, and you hear Kerr just "Criff." But fortunately, one of the students does come through and is able to disarm it. And you do you see kind of with kind of this recruit of Republic soldiers. They get a little bit of newfound confidence. They do feel a little bit more comfortable around explosions, both setting them up as well as disarming them. They may be able to come and help you out if you ever get into a situation where you need Republic reinforcements and need somebody to help you blow something up.
All right.
Perfect. I think that's the last of the downtimes. So you guys are able to reconvene. And oh yeah, we got the new PC as well. So with Dash and Caesar showing up, you guys will find Uli Exarden amongst the crew. So Uli, one last time, say a little bit more what your PC looks like.
Sorry, I was chewing.
No
When you said that, I was like, "Oh God, gotta finish." So Uli stands at about 10 feet tall. He's a couple inches shy of 10 feet, and he towers over people. But he's very wide-eyed. He's got like glossy black eyes. He's got blue-green skin, and his hair they're like Medusa, Gorgon type hair, where they're like little snake-like appendages that are climate sensing. He's a Hodin, in case I don't know if any of you guys will not know what those are, but trying to think what else. He's dressed in fairly simple clothes. I mean, he's usually in the soil, so he wears sandals and dirty clothes. That's pretty much his whole life, and he's dressed like you would imagine the average gardener is, but he actually knows kung fu.
Perfect. Well, you guys will be kind of outside the Novacata as Caesar and Dash roll up, and you see Uli hanging out with Talus and Vars. Don't know what actually. Talus, Vars, and Uli. What are you guys up to as the crew approaches, or the rest of the crew approaches?
Uli's kind of reminded me that I've forgotten to take a shower for a while, so I should probably do that.
Yeah, you did kind of smell. I had to say something.
Also, I forgot to mention too, Talus and Vars got up to a little bit with their downtime as well. They did some bounty hunting.
Oh,
And I think
yeah.
on their last bounty, they came across a spice dealer, but with no spice on them, apparently, after some evidence
Oh, no,
disappeared.
I got one glitter stem.
You know,
Well, since you didn't remember, it was actually 100 glitter stem.
I said no spice reporter.
Oh,
Plenty found,
self-identified.
none
It doesn't
reported.
count. Doesn't count.
Oh.
well, part of it would be Vars wondering if Dash is even going to make it. I think I read that he got arrested. I wasn't sure.
Oh yeah. I briefly saw that, but I wasn't sure if it was actually him or not. I mean, we're on a gas planet full of Tabana gas, and he's shooting off fireworks.
It sounds just like him. Yeah.
You know what? I take
Yeah,
it back.
that's how you confirmed it's me.
These friends of yours?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The other crew?
Yeah. I'm just hoping that either he got away or he got out.
Well, he would have let you know if he couldn't make it, right?
I mean, probably. Maybe. Yeah. Maybe not. He's forgetful sometimes.
Well, maybe he'll find his way here on accident.
Well,
Stranger things have happened.
That they have.
I have no idea where you're going to sleep, by the way, Uli, being 10 feet. Like, none of the bunks are going to be able to hold you, so we could set up
as long as
something
my
custom
feet
in
can
the
spill
cargo
out,
bay.
as long as my feet can spill out the side of them, or yeah, I can. Maybe we can put two of them together and then cut the bars off the top somehow, and then just I don't know. We'll think of something. I'm adaptable. I do curl up into a sizable fetal ball, so I'm not as wide as I am tall.
That's good. And adaptability is definitely a good quality to have with this group.
Yeah, I don't know about what we're about to face. I've never seen that before. Never heard of that
Speaking
before
of which,
either.
we have quite the PowerPoint presentation prepared for you. I'm sure Caesar can get you up to speed as well. I've got a couple of experiments and things to do.
You see when Dash comes in, he you can tell he sees Uli, but he purposely ignores him until he's just kind of standing around until he sees someone else talk to Uli, and then he looks over, and you can tell he's really confused, and he goes, "Oh my God, you're real." He's like, "I need meds," and then walks away.
Well, yeah, I mean, there are some philosophers who don't think any of us are real, but I believe I'm real. Real enough. Nice to meet you. As you want.
When Caesar comes in, the first thing he's gonna go over to do is go over to Dash. What's this out the news? Nice. Before probably seeing the big lad, eyes go to him, just trying to discern. Did I catch whatever Dash up? Is this real? Is this actual? Does this exist? blinks a couple times. Yeah.
Hi. He just sees everybody staring at him. He's like, "Hi, I can see you."
Hello. Who are you, sir?
Oh, my name's Uli. I am a farmer. Well, I farm for other people, but really I'm trying to be my own master gardener. It's a long, long journey, but currently working with the same as your compatriot there, Dr. Dici, with Zerka. Hope you don't hold that against me.
Not at all. I quite enjoy a man who can carve out his own path. I am Caesar. Butcher of the Rim, Gungan Guillotine, Genocide Polite. Call me what you wish. I believe you'd be most welcome here.
Those are some odd nicknames.
Yes, I've earned each of them.
Okay. We will say nothing, which is all right. Try to take it in and just okay.
Also, if you require any dentistry, I am certified.
I'll keep that in mind.
So Dash would come back over and introduce himself and say, "Yeah, hey, I'm Dash. Welcome to the crew." Sorry, he says, sometimes I see things, and then he'll like point. He goes, "But the Wookiee's he's not real, right? Right?" And you go, "Okay."
No,
you'll just walk away.
I mean, Wookiees are real, but they aren't here.
In reality, there's actually a guy crawling through the vents right now, just scuttering away.
I'm usually fairly with it too, so if you're ever in doubt, you can just ask me, and I'll tell you if something's there or not.
I appreciate that. I really do. No one has offered me that, actually.
I traveled with some folks who do some strange things with some stuff that you probably wouldn't really understand. I barely understand it myself. You can sometimes see things that aren't actually there, and someone's doing it to you. So it's not out of the ordinary. You're right to be cautious. So just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they're not out to get you, if you know what I mean.
That's not what you should tell Dash.
Uli doesn't know that.
Talus is like,
yeah. He like starts rigging up proximity mines for the vents.
No. That was an idiom, I believe is what they call them. Yes, it's not really out to get you. It was a figure of speech.
The moment Caesar sees Dash rigging up mines for the vents, he immediately puts on his gear and is just like, "I'm going in. I'm going to secure the perimeter." As he starts growing in, making sure there's no stowaways in the vents.
Uli's just taking it all in, like, what? All right, what an odd group. But...
Yeah. Dash, the last thing we need is some rogue Giska knocking us out of hyperspace. So maybe I think our ship is safe.
It is now.
No, actually, I'd make the argument that it's less safe.
May
I like you, Dash, but I don't want to die with you.
Can I make a roll to see if there was actually anything stuck in the vents?
Sure, roll an investigation check.
In the Novacana?
We found that guy.
That is pristine.
So you go through the Novacana. It's pretty well cleaned, and you go through there, and you don't always find too much. But one of the things you do find is you kind of go through the vents, and this could be just a hidey hole that was left there before before Talus took control of the Novacana, or was maybe put there by Talus. But you do find some old glitter stem vials, just hidden in the vents.
Caesar marks down where this stuff is, and he's going to bring that up to Talus in case he didn't know about it, because he knows he does like those things. No Gizak, right?
No Gizak, yeah. It's
no Womp Rats.
No Whopper.
No, Gizka is good.
Novacata is kept up to a pretty high standards between Talus and Jarvis. You don't find anything like that, but just a couple of those empty vials of glitter stems.
All right. He comes out. He tells Dash in the most honest way that there's nothing in the vents, there's nothing to be afraid of, and that Caesar's going to be watching his back, so he doesn't have to set the minefield on his back.
He actually nods like soundly. Thank you. I really appreciate you going through the effort. And as he like starts disarming the mines, shoving them back under his bed because that's where he keeps all of them.
Am I sharing a room with that guy? Pretty sure I'm in the blast radius.
The whole ship is the
blast radius. Yeah.
Man,
Well,
I have a character. I've seen beds break before, like a lot, because I've seen a lot of the cheap beds. So I can only imagine the creaking noise right above the stash of mines, just waking everyone up, Squidward style. Just those eyes opened and bloodshot.
Well, you guys are able to secure the ship and clean up the mines that were strewed about, and then begin making your way to hyperspace, leaving the planet of Bespin behind you and heading towards the wheel. You guys have a pretty uneventful flight to the wheel. You don't get pulled out of hyperspace by anything. You're able to move through your different checkpoints with ease, but eventually you do wind up at the wheel. Let me show you guys what the wheel looks like too. So let me move over there.
And where is the wheel in relation to the galaxy?
Oh yeah, let me do that. Let me do that before I move it over. So we're going back to. Actually, I'll leave you guys here. Let's go back. Actually, I'll move it back over here.
Was that the thing from the Legacy version?
It was. Oh yeah. So
it was on a few of them, right? Like
so it was in the Old Republic a couple times. Or sorry, the Old Republic, the Clone War or the Clone Wars comic. It's only been appeared in the comics, I should say.
Okay. Yeah.
And it was in one of the James Luceno's Han Solo trilogy or duology for New Jedi Order with the Vong.
Oh, right. Okay.
It's one of my favorite locations. It's just a weird spot.
It's one with Droma, right?
It is. Yeah, it's where Droma pops up. And you get to see an old blanking on his name right now. But it is because I had to look for this yesterday because I had to make sure it was a no man spot. It's in the right hand corner, R5, I think.
I see.
R7. It's a truly independent, none of the nations. It's got a sandwich between the Mandalorians and the Dominion, but it's welcome to all. It's one of the few spots that has been able to keep itself from falling under one of the great nation's sways. That's just mostly due to it being a refuge for those who don't want to be found and a central meeting ground. It's kind of a gathering point for a lot of the scum of the universe or galaxy to be able to go and sell their wares, either information, physical goods, and it's all been kept pretty respectful. The station staff has been pretty well secured. They've got a mixture of their own droid security force, as well as just a lot of the mercenaries who didn't want to go to war but still wanted to make some decent credits, join up under the wheel to keep the peace and make sure that people could shop, gamble, and gather in peace within kind of the wheel's protection.
Are there any huts there?
Oh, definitely. So the huts, and you guys would probably have enough time to look up who controls it. The huts are definitely welcome there, but the wheel isn't under hut control. It's actually under control of a former Sith named Casey. He took control of the wheel after being pushed out of the Sith by Darth Dominus. He had the choice of bowing down or dying and fled and took his resources and took over the wheel. So he's been manning it the last 10 years and has made it a pretty profitable venture and hasn't persecuted any Jedi or Republic operatives to come there as long as they're willing to come in, pay the credits that's owed, and not cause a fuss. Anybody's welcome.
Caesar would warn if he sees the hut, he's killing the hut.
Maybe don't want to hurt
Get
them
interesting.
publicly.
Yeah, and is this something you're announcing to the crew? Like, by the way, guys, if we see a hut,
I thought he was.
Yeah, no, like
is
the
that
crew for
an announcement?
Novacano, everyone knows. On the crew
Okay.
for Novacano, just like, if we see a hut, there will not be a hut.
I'm not one to shy away from violence, but why?
Oh, you don't know. Let me show you. And he'd kind of pull back a bit of his shirt on his back to show the back of his neck where there'd be a branding.
Oh, I'm guessing that
I
wasn't.
see.
Yes. That's how the Dominion found me. It's where they saved me from originally. And one of these days, there will not be any huts left in the galaxy to give these brands to anyone.
It's a lot of huts.
I've killed more.
Well, thankfully, our business on the wheel isn't going to take very long. I would hate to jeopardize things before we even get started. I don't know about you, but I want to know if there's some sort of collaboration between the Crusaders and the Vong. I'd hate to miss out on that because you got a little trigger happy on the way there. Maybe on the way out.
I can be patient. I can wait until we leave. But if any of those huts attempt to address me by my branding, they will die. I will not hesitate.
Well, I'll just say they drew on you first or something. Oh, yeah. All right.
What does the brand look like? Did we ever happen to see that?
So Caesar, I don't know if we've ever went over this. Did we go over which hut clan owned your family or owned you before?
No, I don't think we did. In my mind, he was definitely passed around a lot before ending up in the pits. So, yeah, I'll leave that completely up to you.
Okay, so you see kind of a little bit of patchwork of different brands. Almost looks like they kind of been stamped one over the other. You see the Basadi brand, one of the kind of the core hut families. You even see the Silgic brand. There's just a couple of other smaller brands that look like they've been kind of squashed beneath the two. It definitely looks like just kind of rebranded as he's bought and sold between the various hut clans in the Kajik.
Looks almost like one started it and then the next one that owned him tried to make a bigger picture on the back of the show that right over the old one and assert their dominance over the new one. It's like, well, I feel your pain. Fortunately, there are a lot of people in the galaxy that feel the same way you do. So, take heart in that, I guess.
But trust me, I do. It's one of the few things I know of my actions that will be celebrated in this galaxy. When the huts are all gone, this will be an unconditional good thing.
Well, let's just hope not everybody's gone, too. From what your friends have told me, this doesn't... And the lovely PowerPoint you put together for me. Am I to understand that you guys were taken out by a pack of rocks before? Is that a thing? These
Do
guys
not
look like
underestimate them. They almost ended the life of someone who's no longer with us many a time.
rocks have a way of stopping life. You plant one under a bunch of tubers and the tubers won't grow. It's just what rocks do. They get in the way of things, but you also can't grow anything without being on top of them. So that's life, I guess.
Vars will give you, because he can't really emote too much with his face, a bit of a head tilt.
Like,
even Talus is like,
I'm still in shock from that PowerPoint presentation. Sorry.
Dash would have actually been
I only
following and
gave
nodding and
J4.
being like, "Oh yes, deep
I only gave
thought, deep
J4
thought."
10 minutes to put it together. So,
Well, hopefully, we're able to find something to combat these guys. Although, from what they've told me about how they grow things, that would be interesting to learn. Think of the things we could do with that. Put to good use, too. Not what our parent company wants to do with it. But either way, I suppose I'm dilly-dallying. Are we supposed to meet someone, or did we have an appointment?
Definitely see it. You guys approach the wheel, and you see this just ginormous space station, kind of floating in space, and you see numerous ships going in and out of it. And you see kind of a number of kind of capital ships scattered around too, all kind of bearing a big wheel as their logo. You can kind of assume these are Lord Casey's ship used to protect his investment. You see them kind of allowing people to and fro. And as you guys go through, you see like Republic ships, you see Dominion ships, Hapen ships, Hut ships, all kind of flowing to and from the planet. In peace. You do see they have different sides for the different groups, though. As you see, the Republic is kind of the southern quadrant, or I don't know what that'd be in space, but the closer quadrant. The Dominions on the further. They've got the Hapens on one side, the Huts on another. But all of them are kind of going into the wheel, and you get a kind of an automated droid response, giving you your flight plan and telling you all are welcome on the wheel. The only rules are to pay what is owed, do not cause trouble, and to pay tribute to Lord Casey. Otherwise, you are free to do what you please. Uh, Credits will go far on this planet. And after that, you are giving your own docking quarters within. You guys, actually, I'll ask you guys: are you guys? There's definitely spots for kind of unaffiliated. Are you guys going to an affiliated Republic, Zerka? Where would the crew want to land?
Zerka, just thinking out loud, Zerka might net us a better reception potentially, just because of business and partnership.
Yeah. Would the ship itself get flagged as Zerka?
It definitely does have a kind of a Zerka flag on itself, but you could kind of persuade otherwise with your public credentials.
Up to you guys, though. I think our 10-foot tall friend is the one that's actually supposed to be the new pilot. Is that a thing?
That is what I took. Yes.
Oh boy.
Well, I'll take her wherever you want to go. We are Zerka, and we get a good reception there. And not to mention, I'm sure maybe we can have that neighborly security too, where we don't, even if we're not watching our bay, maybe they're accidentally watching ours for us. Get a little bit of
However,
extra help.
another idea, Vars, you're here as a Mandalorian to meet one of your contacts. Maybe putting her down in the Mandalorian area would get us closer to your contact, and we won't have to walk too far or search too long.
There's a reason they're contracting me and a bunch of non-Mandalorians to take this on. They don't want to be linked. And I would say that Circa or unaffiliated is fine, but I don't think they'd appreciate again, somebody from the Republic coming in on their end. Just let's just say that the rest of them aren't so friendly and accommodating as I am to
Makes sense.
representatives of the Republic, and he'll gesture to Dash and Caesar.
Well, in that case, so that we don't have any questions coming our way and we don't have to crease any palms, we'll just take a Zerka hanger then.
Yep.
You guys are definitely welcome in the Zerka hangars. And you gotta get routed to kind kind of to the other side of the ship, and you see within as you guys kind of as Uli kind of maneuvers the ship into its bay. The Zerka hangars are well maintained, well stocked. They're definitely able to refill and top you guys off and kind of rearm the ship. And you see droids as well as Zerka employees kind of scattered throughout the bay. It's definitely well lit and well maintained with just kind of some of the Zerka creds flowing around. Definitely kind of a good spot to keep the ship while you guys are on planet or on station, I should say.
Perfect.
Perfect. And,
as we exit the ship, I'll just say, J4, you know the drill. Watch the Nova Kana. We'll be back when we're back. Contact me if you need anything.
You hear J4 go, delightful. Once again, such riveting entertainment. It's a sardonic voice as you guys disembark from the ship.
Still not going to get used to that.
Did you program it to be a jerk or what?
Oh, when I was writing the algorithms and whatnot for him, I thought I was basing him off my own personality. But I think he's developed his own. He's a lot more... Well, he is a jerk, isn't he? J4, stop being a jerk.
I would say abrupt, but
yeah,
that could come off that way too.
Yeah, well, you haven't ridden with them as long as we have.
And you hear one last retort from J4, and he goes, I am what your programming made me, as you disembark. But yeah, you guys are able to leave the Zerka port and make your way within the wheel itself. And you just see a hodgepodge of different people and species. You see Republic troops walking to and fro. You see just kind of just an array of different people on this planet. Spacers, smugglers, bounty hunters, all on the wheel. You see some of the upper crust as well, looking for different spots to gamble and spend their credits. And you see kind of hawkers all over trying to sell you their wares. You see people peddling death sticks, peddling the latest kind of hollow dramas, just ridiculous bootlegs about just all over. It's definitely kind of a gathering point of the galaxy and a little bit seedy, but it's kind of got that old Vegas feel. There's lights, there's flashing, there's people trying to sell you stuff. And it's one of those, it's hard to take 10 steps without either bumping into somebody or somebody bumping into you trying to sell something.
Can Caesar quickly buy one of those bootleg movies real fast? He wants to watch that with the crew one night while drinking and make fun of it.
Definitely. What type of movie would Caesar gravitate towards?
Probably some kind of rom-com, some kind of romantic comedy.
Oh, definitely. So you're able to find just this. It's like the sappiest rom-com. They call it the Twi'lek and the Toydarian, a star-crossed romance. And you see, it's just cheesy about just all of the romantic cliches with look at these star-crossed lovers. The Toydarian's a businessman. The Twi'lek's a dancer. Can they ever make it work? And you see the boot. I don't know if you can take a preview of it, but the bootleg has a real shaky camera. It looks like somebody went to the hollows and like recorded it with their data pad.
It'll take the trilogy.
So you just got 3 different versions of it. You see, they did 2 of them with the same actors, but they tried to do a reboot for the 3rd, and it finally crossed. I kind of killed the series.
How many credits does that put down?
Oh, that just puts you down 30 credits.
He'll take that, and he'll be on the lookout for any dental supplies, mostly extra toothbrushes. He wants to have a souvenir from Twi'lek and Toydarian.
Perfect. Well, Vars, you would have been given a location to meet Commander Velku aboard the station. You know that they've got kind of their own little holdings on the station, kind of an area that's out of prying eyes, where you can kind of meet up with the commander and get a little bit of information on the mission without tipping off anybody that you're affiliated with the Mandalorians. But fortunately, you guys have a couple of hours before that's coming up. And we're going to do the next part of this too. So within the wheel, as I mentioned, it's definitely a spot where you can find some good bootleg videos, but you can also find some pretty crazy gear as well. So we are going to take a little bit of time and see what crazy items you guys are looking up. I think I did post this. So you guys will be able to basically do the enhanced item or buying an enhanced item downtime just within a couple of hours, just due to how plentiful the resources upon the wheel are. And we're going to be waiving both the time as well as the initial cost to finding the items. You can still spend, I think, 500 credits to increase your chances of finding the item, but that initial cost is waived. So basically what we're going to do for that is you guys let me know what you want to buy, and we're going to do the rolls here, see if you find it. And just before you guys go for what you want to buy, you are able to find pretty much any rarity of item, but there's a different DC for how rare they are. So if you wanted to find a premium item, I believe that's a DC 15, prototype a DC 20, advanced 25, and so on. And basically with this, we expanded it out a little bit too, because usually you can only find it with investigation, but I wanted to make it a little bit more accessible for those who aren't just intelligence users. So you can also use both persuasion, see if you can kind of talk in some dealers to find you who has the good stuff, or what did I say, insight as well, to see if you can kind of feel your way around and see kind of where you can get the best deal at too. So with that, what are you guys going after? Because to find it, and basically we're going to kind of do the same thing as a downtime. So you have to beat that DC to find it. Nice thing though is that even if you're going for a specific item with this one, usually if you go for a specific item, you have disadvantage. We're nixing that piece, so you will have a regular roll for it. But unfortunately, it won't be available for guidance, tech boost, and the works. So I'll let whoever wants to go first go over what item they're looking for.
May I?
Yeah, go for it, Caesar.
All right, he's looked for this before, and he thinks this would be useful. And again, he wants to thank a certain member. He's gonna find something more personal for that another time. But he's gonna look for some Prescott gauntlets for the Mandalorian.
All right, and those are premium, right?
Yep, premium.
All right, so you got a DC 15. Your choice of probably insight for Caesar, right?
Yeah, making sure that these things work, getting the vibe of people. Wow, I am in pain.
That is rough. Plus 10 too. Plus.
That I don't have anything to add to that. Unless I could do my own critical analysis, but then again, you said no guidance or anything like that. So yeah, no, he just like, let's get the Mandalorian something. Why are all these? Wait, I was saying the voice, just like, why are all these cosplay pieces? Why is there no real thing?
Oh, definitely. As you go through, there's tons of dealers trying to push Mandalorian goods on there. Everybody's real Beskar. Like, see, some of these you can pick up and like crush in your own head without they're definitely Mandalorians. They've always been a fascination of the galaxy. There's a lot of knockoffs, making it difficult to kind of go through and find which seller has the real deal. So you guys, inspiration isn't prohibited from this. You do have, I think, 4 inspo. Just putting that out there in case you guys do want to use it.
Instead, for flavor, can Caesar roll intimidation? At some point, he's just completely done with all these guys. Like, he was looking for something for Varus, and at this point, just finding one he could crush in his own hand, the pure, like, menacing or as a smile finally just dropping, just crunching it.
Did you see kind of a Nikto? I think Nikto's how you say it. One of the species of the Outer Rim. I kind of standing there looking at you crush it. He gets mad initially, but roll intimidation. You can see him like puffing up, flexing himself. Looks like he's about to get a little hostile as you crush the fake crush gauntlets.
I have threatening. I fully intend on that being a thing here. I am in severe pain.
This is a roll off, so this would be with threatening. They have to beat what is it? Insight. He's a civilian, so he's just a straight D20.
Wow. Hold on. I think I actually might have something for this. I do not.
So you see, he's kind of puffed up. It looks like he's gonna kind of like. You see him kind of looking, raise his hand like he's gonna smack you, but he's like, "Get the crap out of here! You come to my stand, you break my authentic Mandalorian gear." You kind of see him looking around to some of the other people. This guy must be a titan, just crushing things in his hand. You put that down and just get the crap away.
See this guy in the blinks. Just like before he goes, you sir, do you know my name?
I don't give a crap who you are, Gungan. You messing with my merchandise. You messing with my business.
Pride. Genocide Pride. I hope to see you again one day. And that's how he'll leave the guy.
You see his face kind of falls. It looks a little shaken before going back and hawking his poodoo Mandalorian wares to unsuspecting drones of the galaxy.
Pain. Suffering. 4 14s in a row.
Yeah.
Not even row 20 messing up. Just pain.
All right, who's going next? And hopefully they'll break the 14 streak.
I can go next. I think I know what I want. We only got time to look for one, right?
Just one item.
One item. So, a little known thing about Hodin is they actually have one of the few species with like a negative trait. They don't like cold very much, and space is very cold. So he's gonna look for something to kind of bundle himself up, and hopefully looking for some sort of robes that would fit him and his lifestyle and the often falling into combat that he does on his off time. And so he's gonna look for the Jedi Padawan robes. I was kind of hoping to flavor them as more just like a traditional monk kind of. What is that called? Or like a gi like they have in Taekwondo or something like that. Like an actual, not uniform, but like an actual piece of clothing that's not just like a Jesus wrapped like toga thing that he's got going on.
A Jesus toga.
Yeah, Jesus toga. I'm sure there's a proper word for it. I just don't know what it is.
I think we found it.
You're definitely able to find some gear that doesn't look like a Jesus toga.
Yeah.
So you start watching. Let's see if you can find it. So yeah, your choice of insight.
I think I checked this, and insight is going to be the best. I think I have a 1 and a negative 1 to the other ones. Just normal, right?
Just normal. Oh, there you go. Yeah, so you go through and you see a lot of people are trying to sell you robes, be it Jedi robes, Sith robes, just bathrobes even. Everybody's trying to hawk some type of robe at you, but you are able to kind of dig in and find some good kind of martial arts style gis, and you are able to find kind of a good set. Now, I'll let you describe how they look as you come across them.
They're that traditional looking, kind of like Obi-Wan, like that traditional looking style where you've got the one coming down over the other and it folds down and around. And the actual fabric has like designs of like a, you ever seen the galaxy? Like the disk of a galaxy? Like the Milky Way? Like it looks kind of like that kind of Starry Night pattern all over. Just kind of cosmic. But they feel really nice and snug where they need to, and really nice and loose where they need to. I won't go into detail. They look very nice, and for a big and tall dude, it's very hard to find nice looking clothes. And
I don't know why I feel like this would be like on the clearance rack somewhere, because nobody's big enough to actually wear this.
No, they've been waiting. They've been waiting for me. He's holding on to this for the right customer.
The force provides.
Perfect.
Indeed.
So roll 2d8, keep the highest.
2d8.
Snake,
Oh,
guys. Snake,
oh
guys.
no, that's not bad. 4.
Oh, 4. Yeah, actually.
That was like 7. Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, me too, actually. What's that? That's gonna be. Yeah, so you find it for a decent price, $3,000.
Oh, all right, I have that.
You find it kind of. It's like you find this shop within the wheel. It looks to be it's run by a given guy, a given male. So the given with like their kind of shell-like exterior
Scream
face.
mask.
Yeah, scream mask. So they got a weird, just like a fixed-in face. And you see it's kind of like it looks like an old school terracotta shop. You find robes within, finding that perfect pair in the big and tall section. You see vibro nunchucks and just random gear escorted around, but you're able to find a good price for those robes and pick them up.
He'll take them out. He'll in the store try them on, just kind of slip off whatever he's got and quickly throw them on. Just
you
nicely. How much?
We have a changing room right behind you.
It's nature, man. People do it all the time.
$3,000. Keep your clothes on in my store.
Sorry. He'll count out the credits, hand them to him, and then pick up his dirty clothes. He's like, do you have a garbage bin, like receptacle somewhere?
You hear like just wordlessly reach behind the counter and hold it up, like just a little trash can for you to throw them away into.
Thank you. He'll walk out in confidence.
You hear him start like he goes, "Come, yeah, just thank you and goodbye."
Don't come back again.
That was the quiet part you said. That was.
All right, 3K.
3K.
3K minus.
Perfect. Who wants to go next?
I can go. Talus, on the way here, he did look up the wheel and see what was going on, and Jade Force suggested using the Dark Hollow Net. I don't know why, but looking at it, I guess there was like the very first advertisement that he saw was like, "Get it now while it's hot, 70% off." Goggles of the Tinkerer. So this will be a prototype item specifically for the engineer, and it lots of benefits, especially since I'm at level 5 right now. And I will use investigation to look for this as I browse the many technological wares.
Perfect. DC 20.
Close.
All right. Using any inspo or keeping the roll?
I don't know. That's up to the group. These are extremely helpful. I don't know if you guys know anything about them. I can use my own potent aptitude on myself. I get an extra potent aptitude use and an extra modification slot. Oh, and a number of times equal to my proficiency bonus to double my potent aptitude that I add on to you guys, such as healing and damage. They're beastly. All right, I'm just going to do it once. Just one.
Good by me.
Go for it.
Natural 1. Let's do it. Oh, gosh.
Hey, 2 1s.
Why do we have such bad luck, guys?
Dice are not with you today.
Speak for yourself. I got what I wanted.
Oh, yeah, what's that? Lou is over here just styling in his new robes, but the rest of the crew's having a hard time.
He's just not walking out here empty-handed. He's got 3 movies.
They said that they had them. It was 70% off. This is. Oh, I hate shopping.
Did you you see a lot of the places kind of advertising the goggles of the Tinkerer with that 70% off deal. You get there and they only have like one in stock, and they're trying to peddle a whole bunch of like shitty wares at you, like old school blasters, kind of just different technological kits. They have just tons of them strewn around after that just predatory sale.
It's all good. Better luck next time.
Mm-hmm. Like, I know you guys have been standing in line for 3 days. We only have one TV, but come on in and see what else we got.
It's exactly what I'm telling you. We got a lot of cool stuff. Maybe we'll have more goggles to take over. But yeah, you just come inside and wait and buy some stuff, and just buy some stuff. All right. So Dash or Vars, who is up next? And hopefully the dice are a little kinder to you.
Go next. So I'm gonna come to the realization that I have all the explosives except I do not have a rocket pack, which is outlawed in Republic space. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to pick it up. So I'm gonna go for the fine version. So that is a premium.
So that will be expensive, just to be fair warning, because that'll be the 10,000 plus what you roll for the dice portion.
Oh, okay. Well, we're not going to do that because I don't have that much money.
So even outside of that, you could definitely just, because you said rocket pack, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because rocket pack's 10K. You could definitely buy the regular rocket pack if you want that, though. Like it just with the straight 10K.
Yeah, we're good.
Caesar can spot you some money.
It's gonna get real expensive. You know, I'm gonna go for the other option here, the Boots Abounding, which is the warrior version of the Tinker goggles.
All right.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
So, same choice for Dash: investigation, insight, or persuasion. And with that's a prototype, I believe. That's prototype 2, so DC 20.
Yeah. All right. Come on.
Oh shit! Yeah. Dash, you go through, and I probably imagine that has Dash been to black markets before, kind of a shadier spots to find some mechanics or pieces of things he needs to build his friends.
Yeah, this is like home for him.
You maneuver through all the stalls, clearly seeing who's bullshitting you, and just kind of ignoring them until you find this little back end room in the bottoms of the station. You see 2 Jawas standing out front. They chitter at you for a bit, and then give you a nod and bring you in and bring out your boots of bounding. And what do those boots look like for you?
Yeah, so they're kind of like a darker metallic look, and they kind of got these slots on the side where they have like rockets that kind of pop out and propel you. And it's based on kind of like placement. So you hit your foot right, and it'll kind of just give you a quick burst of speed.
Perfect. Roll. What's that going to be? Roll 2d10 plus 1.
D10.
Snake eyes.
All right.
Snake eyes.
Come on.
Oh, 4. That's good.
That's not bad.
What is that going to be? That's okay. Hopefully, I hope you do have 10,000 credits. So it's 2D or 4 times 2,500. So it does come up to 10K.
Oh, I do not have 10K.
Again, Caesar will spot you. He's got no problem with it.
I feel like maybe I missed some money on my chart. I've got 5,000.
Did you add the 2,500 from or how much did you guys get last session? Or a session before last?
It was 10,000 split between 4 people because
25
was the droid at the
time. No, I did not. So I'm still short, but if someone loans me, I can help out. So I've got put me at 7,800. So
Caesar will loan you his payday from that mission.
All right, nice. So I'll take my boots.
Sweet. get those boots. You see the Jawas kind of give you a friendly wave. And you see kind of it's this little market that Dash would definitely like. You see kind of explosives strewn around. It's all like most of the places you see in this place have been kind of laid out, their gear displayed prominently. Like this place is just a hodgepodge of just different, all quality gear, but just kind of strewn about in just different piles scattered around the tiny room that's a bit too small to fit everything comfortably.
Yeah, so he'll put his boots on and give him a test and start like skidding around the the wheel like a kid in Christmas.
Have him some wheelies.
Got your wheelies on. All right, Vars. Last but not least.
Well, even though he is a Mandalorian, he actually doesn't have the gear that befits a Mandalorian. His helmet and armor are made of Durasteel and not Beskar. And man, oh man, does that make him feel crappy about it. Unfortunately, he knows he can't afford a full Beskar, but he could probably try to find a helmet.
Nice.
So he's going to give that a shot.
And the helmet's premium, isn't it?
That is correct.
All right.
I was going to get that, but I was like, we have a Mandalorian in the party. That's not going to go well.
Cultural appropriation.
Yeah, right. Really?
It was our helmet first. You can't wear that.
All right.
So, insight being one of the options. Let's go. All right.
Hey.
Got 3. It's
So
cool.
real fast, the reaction help action isn't going to help you, right?
Unfortunately, it won't help on this one.
No, you're off to a new
Burning inspiration.
Go for
The
it. You guys have
Mandalorian
3.
has to have a Mandalorian helmet.
Yeah.
It's fitting. It's fitting.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see.
Yeah.
And
Hey!
Dang,
Not
that's
three.
Wait, how much is it to add the extra point? Or I thought you had mentioned something about paying an extra 500 or something.
that might be before the roll. I
It's
think.
usually before the
Yeah,
roll.
fair enough.
Vars, do one. Roll it straight D20. 11 plus, you can add the cost. Below 11, unfortunately, you'll be.
Now I
Then you
roll
finally
out.
get a nice roll. All right.
Yeah.
How much was it? I think it's 500, but let me check real quick.
500
So
for his man.
that was the GM pity roll, is what that was.
The Force wants you to have it, just not for cheap.
Mhm.
Oh, it is.
The game said, listen, Talus, you're way too overpowered with your healing already. We don't need to give you more.
Yeah, we don't need. You don't need you to resurrect them now.
Okay, well, this is it's a pretty decent price. So it's a 1K. So you kind of go through and try to find the vendors, but eventually you need to help finding a guide. It takes 1K for that +1, and it does bump you up enough to find a little forge smith within the facility. You see somebody. They got the Mandalorian gear on. Kind of full Beskar garb, and they are kind of just pounding Beskar into different armaments. They are able to make you your own helmet.
And how much would that cost?
Roll me 2d8.
2 8s. Nice.
What did? So my screen flipped. What did you get? Oh, 1 to 4.
1 to 4. That's not
good. 4. So 4 times. Oh, so 3K.
All right. Well, thanks, but no thanks. I don't got 3K.
Caesar will hand you the money.
We just play bankroll today. Caesar has
apparently.
Yeah, Caesar has.
Okay.
Caesar hands you the money, just like, I tried my best to find the place. I stole those garments I wanted to get you before, so allow me to aid you here in your quest for Beskar.
Well, I don't understand your generosity, but I appreciate it.
I supply all my soldiers, and you are a great comrade in arms.
And with that, he'll nod. and by the way, all he needs is a 125. So
And the full 3K.
yeah. Wait, what?
Garrett did have like 800 credits on him. I'm just gonna throw that out there that he would not be around to miss them.
I mean, we didn't really distribute that. We didn't really go through, play hand the stuff out with Geart's gear.
You have it. So yeah, definitely, if you're just that low on credits, what would that be? So before Uli got there, unfortunately, so 200 divided by 4. Sorry, 800 divided by 4 would be 200. Did that backwards in my head? Did that?
No, 800 times 4. You're right. Let's do it that way.
Well, with that money in mind, he is left in that case with 75 credits, and I guess he's got some fancy schmancy new headgear.
Oh and, yeah. So yeah, the armor smith will pound it out. And what is and he kind of makes this custom for Vars. What does Vars want? What's that called? His Busit? Fonte, do you remember what it's called, a Mandalorian for helmet? It's Busit, I believe. It's like B-Y-U, whatever. It's a Mandalorian helmet. I have to look that up. That's gonna bug me.
No, you got me thinking.
It's like Busit? I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's it's like bucket, but it's like with a few words changed out.
Businet, maybe. I'm just.
Wait, Bassinet?
Bassinet. That could that be it?
Oh, look, it's like a different word. Let me find it because it's
Bassinet is a kind of helmet.
Yeah, like a medieval helmet. Well, regardless,
I'm a nerd for armor. Unfortunately, I don't know much of Star Wars armor except for Mandalorian stuff look cool.
I think it's just called a helmet, but the actual armor is the Beskar Gam.
Yeah, so that's the Beskar Gam. I'm pretty sure they've got one for helmet because I didn't like the series as much, but the Republic Commando, I feel like put it in there ridiculous. Oh, it's Busey. It's a B-U-Y apostrophe C-E. So Busey, I believe. Or Buse? I don't know. Probably harsher with Mandalorian. Buke? Who knows?
Well, regardless.
I forgot about my burger. I'll be right back.
Go. Vars will ask for it as plain as possible because, frankly, he's going to customize it himself. He'd have made it himself, but he just doesn't have the Beskar handy.
Perfect. And you're able to, if you wanted to, you could even assist. You see, the Mandalorian is not really saying too many words. He looks at you, kind of notices your armor patterns, and probably recognizes you, but he just kind of grunts, and you see him begin to get to work, forging out your new Beskar Mandalorian helmet.
Can I record him?
Oh, for sure.
I want to focus on that technique at a later date.
Yeah, you see, he probably is not even paying attention enough to notice your helmet's recording go on. You just see him kind of pounding, shaping the molten Beskar, putting it into the mold. It emerges kind of the Mandalorian helmet that you can kind of go through and paint up and customize out to your heart's content.
Okay. And he'll remove what he's currently wearing, which is functional, held together with little accessories here and there, but then you'll finally put it on and you'll feel like it's the first step in a much longer journey.
Perfect. You see the Mandalorian armorsmith just gives you a single nod before busying himself back with his other projects coming up.
He's before he goes off, he's going to ask if he has any way to get in contact. If he ever gets enough cash for a custom order for Beskar, mind you.
You see, he nods, throws out kind of his little card with his credentials upon it. You kind of hear him grunt out. You get the credits, come back to the wheel. We'll get you some fine Beskar.
And Vars will nod in turn. Content.
Perfect. So that's everybody. We're going to take a quick break. Then we're actually going to get into a little bit of the meat of the adventure. So what time is it? 8:13. Let's come back at 8:20, and we'll jump in.
All righty.
That's good.
Put us a break.
Busey.
All right, welcome back, everyone. We're back from break. It's going to be kicking off the second part of today's session after the crew reconvenes after their shopping trip, with some of them being successful and some having a little bit of a harder time finding what they needed to get. But luckily, they got some cool new items with the crew. And then so you guys have reconvened. You've got the coordinates to this little Mandalorian safe house on the outskirts of the Mandalorian territory within the wheel. And Vars, you kind of know where that location is. Before you guys head that way, is there anything you all want to do?
Buy a nice hat for Brutus.
For who? Oh, the Brutus, yeah, the
Amphstaff.
With 4 credits, you're able to find a good little small hat for your pet Amphstaff.
8 credits for the finest hat.
Oh, you get some. It's a nice silk little hat for him. And he is styling now. You get it with your Amphstaff.
Is it a beret or a top hat?
Caesar.
Beret.
Beret.
All right. Well, if there's nothing else you guys want to do, you begin heading your way towards, and they got kind of the outskirts of Mandalorian space. This is a Mandalorian area within the wheel. It's definitely one of their kind of low-key safe houses. But as you guys are making your way there, you do see 3 Mandalorian soldiers kind of walking on the other side of the wheel hall. And you see they've kind of got a mixture of black and gold armor. All of them kind of styled similarly. You see kind of a little clan symbol on their right chest. And for the rest of you guys, you may not recognize it, but Vars, you kind of see it. It stands out clear as day. This is the symbol for Clan Skirta. Give me a lore check to see what you know about Clan Skirta. Definitely recognize, but you're not sure. See how much you actually know about the inner workings of the clan.
Well, what is it? How much does he know with the 21?
Nice. You're familiar. They're a pretty. There's would say storied clan. They've definitely been a lot of the thickest fighting. Pretty much across time. They are warriors, true born. A little bit of dicks. Like kind of they're very zealot. They are with even before Mandalore kind of reestablished the Mandalorian nation, they were taking crazy contracts as mercenaries, anything that kind of propel their clan forward and try to propel the Mandalorian people forward. And then after the Mandalore declared the nation to be reborn. They have been diehard troops fighting along his side, laying down their lives and kind of just going through and doing anything they can to advance Mandalore, which is a good thing on some levels. But they're pretty hard to deal with. They're arrogant. They think they're the best. They think the Mandalorians are the best warriors in the galaxy, and their clan's a step above that too. They're not too forgiving for people who don't follow their ideals, and especially ones who they think may have betrayed their nation. And you see them as they're kind of walking down the hall. They kind of you see them kind of do a quick look at the group. You do see one of them kind of lock or helmet kind of faces towards Vars.
Is he in my way? Like, is he physically in my way or just there?
Not yet, but he is like they were kind of across the hall. He was going straight, going the opposite way you guys are coming, and he is definitely kind of stopped and started to angle towards you guys.
Well, the one that's I guess staring me down, I will meet his gaze or her gaze.
Definitely. So you see the one that you're staring down. You can see he stares at you for a while. And you see as the group kind of starts to head towards you all. You're kind of waiting for you to blink. But when you don't blink, you hear kind of the little speaker from his helmet come out. Oh, yeah. It's a little Hatun trader. Well, Vars, whose paycheck are you working for now?
None of your concern. Keep walking.
Or what? Yeah, you're going to run away again? Abandon your people like you did last time?
I didn't abandon anything.
Yeah. Last I heard, you were taking credits from anybody that paid, working for the Hutts, working for the Republic. When your people are fighting for the damn lives, what are you doing?
And what have my people done exactly? What have the best of the Mandalorians done?
You see him kind of thump. Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
No, like, what great expansion of territories. All you do is steal ships.
You see him thump his chest, kind of the metal banging on the Beskar garment. He goes, we steal ships. We steal ships. We rebuilt a Mandalorian nation. You know what? Yeah, other people could build ships, but if you take a ship from your enemy, you have two or one ship, and they've got one less too. So yeah, we're expanding, we're building. Mandalore is going to bring us back to being the true rulers of this galaxy, and you're out here taking merc contracts like a Hatun.
Well, with that, Vars is going to measure the situation, realize that they're probably not aware why he's here, and just say, yeah, I am going to go deal with another contract now. And he'll just keep walking.
All right. So you kind of go past the one that was talking to you, kind of pounding on his chest. He does shoulder check. You kind of bumps into you with his shoulder, but he does keep walking past.
Yeah. That's fine. Vars didn't do what he did because he was proud. He did it because it needed to be done. So he can deal with a few insults. That's fine.
Yeah. You see them kind of just look back, just kind of go, I always knew you and your clan were traitors. When Mandalore takes over this galaxy, you're going to get yours. You're going to get yours. And they just kind of proceed walking down the hall.
Yeah, Vars is having a rough time right now. He's trying to play it tough, but as soon as they're out of visual, as soon as they can't see each other anymore, he'll go from the proud walk and kind of just slump.
Immediately, a hand on the shoulder from Caesar, just like, strength is not measured in how well one can stomp out the enemy, but in how well one conducts themselves when the enemy is not present. And when they stomp out the enemy. You need nothing to prove to them, and you have proven yourself to me. And I wish you prove yourself to yourself in time.
Well, those words are kind, but that's not it at all. You see, Vars will like suffer, like he's about to kind of spit something up, but then he'll say, "We're running late. We need to get there."
Speak useless minds. If anyone here is foolish enough to listen in, then whatever grave they've dug themselves, they can lay it.
Look, I never turned my back on Mandalore. Not on my people, and I never did. I'm in a position where it works out better if the galaxy thinks that I did. At least that's what the case was. Now with my previous crew all but gone and who knows where they're at, I'm not sure. I'll get into it another time, but right now we've got a meeting to get to. You'll see what I mean.
So
Caesar would not unrespect it.
So Dash is going to hang back a little bit, and as Vars kind of gets away, goes in front, he's going to turn around to the Mandos and say, "Hey, Mando," and try to get their attention. And then he's going to open his jacket to show all the grenades. He's going to act like he snags a grenade, but instead he's going to snag a child's toy out of his pocket, and he's going to toss it to him.
Roll intimidation check with advantage.
Was giving the help action as a reaction with a little beeping noise from Caesar give any additional points at all?
He's got advantage. You can add a D4 to it as well.
Could I make the argument of sleight of hand instead of intimidation?
Oh yeah, that'd work well too.
All right. Okay. So...
Oh, nice. Yeah, you go through, show off your vast array of named explosives, and you see the Mandalorians. Like you see one dot, like a hand drops towards his blaster, the other kind of tenses up, and as you throw the child's toy towards them, one of the three dives under, kind of taking cover. The other kind of activates his energy shield, and hunkers down, and the other one kind of tries to dive over it and try to protect it. And you see one that died over it, kind of like looks around, like this kind of like this is the one that was talking a lot of the Poodoo. He dives over it, and like you see him hunkered down for a couple of minutes and just like looking around, and all of a sudden, after enough times went by that he sure thought it could explode, you see he looks up. It just looks like you can't really see him since he's got all the Beskar arms surrounding him, but you could tell by body language he's both slumped and looks incredibly embarrassed. He's got a more cautious, more almost like subdued body language. And you see him point at you guys and go, Griffin, crazies. All right, we're going to get you for this. You keep pushing your luck, little traitor. We'll take you and your whole crew down. Maybe make you a gift to Mandalore. See what he thinks.
Is it safe to assume that we're still in earshot? Like we're all still there, I imagine.
Definitely, I feel like you and Caesar are probably a little bit ahead of the pack, kind of further up with your discussion, but definitely enough to hear them shouting, especially as they screamed as the bomb went off and people dived away and towards it, and then them screaming at Dash.
All right, well. Vars will just survey it, look at it up and down, and just like chuckle to himself and say, "The pride of Mandalore gets shafted, shoota."
You see one of the Mandalorians goes towards his blaster, and as you see that all happening, you do see like kind of hear the whir of hovering. You do see three security droids kind of bow through the corridor. They go, "What is going on? We've heard disturbances of the peace." hands away from your weapons.
Yeah, Dash just kind of smirks and just walks away.
She's just going to be pointing towards Dash, pointing Vars towards Dash, just like, this is one of the many reasons I travel with this man and respect him.
Yeah, duly noted.
It's okay.
Next time you should give me a bit of a heads up. I could have added to that effect. You know, I can light the ground on fire.
You can
With
what?
my mind. I'll show you sometime. It's fantastic. Could have gone well with this trick. We'd have seen Mandos running scared on fire. Really show them the pride of Mandalore. You know what I mean?
With that, Lars will just look over to both Dash and Caesar and say, you know, for a pair of Republic troops, you guys are all right. And I guess he really can't smile, but he'll do it as hard as he can with his helmet.
You see, the Mandalorians are having to drag the one that's been kind of talking throughout away. As he's still like he's trying to go for his blaster, but one of them kind of grabs like, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. You know, Mandalore will have our hides if we cause a disturbance on the wheel, and we have to pay the fines. He's still going for it, but the other two kind of grab him and just haul him away as he's yelling, "I'm gonna get you, man! This is not the last you've heard of me."
I'm sure.
But after that, they're drug away. You guys can make your way to the safe house. And within the safe house, you guys find it's kind of nondescript, just on the edge of the Mandalorian, just outside the Mandalorian territory of the wheel. It's no frills, nothing really kind of to give it away. It's just kind of a little hole in the wall spot. But as you enter in, you do find Commodore Vetku, or not Commodore, Commander Vetku within. You see he has got kind of red and blue armor. It's got like definitely it's been shined, but you see scars, explode like from cuts on the armor that look pretty ranged from vibro weapons as well as some lightsaber scars. You see areas where definitely explosions has hit it. It's definitely well cared for and well maintained, but this is gear that's seen battle frequently. And where others may kind of buff out or remove those scars, he keeps it. He keeps those near death experiences on there. You see him kind of stand and give a nod towards Vars. He kind of removes his helmet off. He goes, "Good to see you." And he kind of looks through, and your eclectic band of companions. Glad you guys are here. As Vars, have you briefed him on the situation?
They know about the Wookiees and Kashyyyk and the crystals and the Crusaders. I gave them a brief rundown, but it wouldn't hurt to hear it again. And with that, Vars is going to remove his helmet, which I imagine might be the first time he's done it around these folks.
Actually, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think you've ever just. What does Vars look like without a helmet? I was going to move past, but I don't think we've ever talked about that. Yeah,
no. You're going to see someone that's a bit older than you might have guessed. Early 40s. He's up there in years. He's tired. You'd think that if he saw some more sun, he'd have a darker complexion, but considering that he lives between a layer of metal between him and any star, you're pretty sure he's taking lots of vitamin D supplements because he's pale. And the eyes are dark, a little sunken in. Let's say dark hair as well. And a very light 5 o'clock shadow to help kind of paint the picture.
You see the commander kind of nod and say, "Good to see you. Before we get to business, I do want you to know that what remains of your squad, They're all right. We've put them in a treatment for those who needed it, and the others back to work. So just know they're doing a good fight. They're fighting for the Mandalorian people. You got them out of there all right, and we're making sure they're taken care of.
Well, where do you have Turk assigned anyway? Is he in a unit like we had before, or is he doing something different now?
We brought him back into the fold. He's on Mandalore itself. He's part of the Defense Force. He's still doing a little bit of rehab to get back up to full fighting force, but we got him. It's all a bit of a story, but we declassified him, let him know that he's been working with us. And fortunately, your name is still. And he kind of looks to the rest of them. He goes, in the wind, we'll say. But we declassified him. He's back with the people, and we're pushing towards reintegration for him.
That's good. He deserves to be home.
But
and Ona,
she's helping how she can. Her injury's a little bit worse than the others, but we've got her back to all the time, and we've got her doing some tactical work. She's predicting some of the movements of both the Dominion as well as the Republic and Hapens. And we got your message. I know you're worried about these new guys. We got her looking into what we can for them too. But we're going to keep up the good fight.
Well, I think this fight might become the only fight sooner rather than later, but that's another time, I guess.
That's it. You know what it is. We got the Republic gunning down for us, the Hapens, the Dominion. Something that may take their focus off us for a little bit. Can't be all bad. You got to seize triumph from tragedy.
Well, if you're hoping that the Republic or the Dominion will overcome this on their own, I think you vastly overestimate what they're capable of. We've seen them tear through their people, their defenses, their ships. I imagine it's only a temporary barrier before they get to us.
You see him kind of reach over and pat your armor, but yeah, they're not Mandalorians. Maybe they get hurt up a little bit, and maybe people want some more Mandalorian power throughout the galaxy. Maybe we can, everybody thinks of us as warriors, and not warriors that run around in fancy robes, swinging light swords around. We're warriors with blasters, Beskar Garm, and if these new invaders make a big enough stir, maybe the galaxy says they want more of us around and less of these little force prancers.
Well, we can only hope. But
you're right. We're down to business. Brief scenario, we're expanding our fleet, let's say. And while expanding our fleet, we came across a ship being crewed by the Crusaders out of Kashyyyk. Aboard the ship, we found a crew of Wookiees, a bit of humans, and some other species on there, which is unusual. Crusaders control the planet. It's mostly Wookiees, but they've been bringing in some outsiders too to help shore it up. And on board the ship, we quickly, subdued the crew for once and for all. It took its measure, and within we found a number of Wookiees with these little corally things that matched up with Vars's reports in them. So you guys see him look around. He looks kind of like, you see him kind of looking around and then finding talents. He goes, from the purports, it seems like you were a little bit of an expert with their stuff. And we thought, hey, we got Vars. We got his newfound friends. Why don't we bring you in and see what you can find? We got two things on board station. Knowing you guys were coming, and you kind of see him soften for a bit. He goes, unfortunately, Vars, we can't bring you to Mandalore still. We still need you independent. We can't. Crusaders may control Kashyyyk, but Kashyyyk is in Happen space, and we can't afford a major push into the Happen space right now. So we need you to still not be one of us, still be a traitor, at least to the people for right now. I know it's not good, it's not fun, but you're doing good work.
Well, I've stomached it for as long as I have. What's a bit longer, huh?
Yeah. Eventually, you'll be known as one of the true heroes of Mandalore. The planet. It clarifies the Mandalore, the person, the planet, and something else being all the same name. But he goes, we brought some of we brought pieces here because we got the ship. They transported on the Crusader ship. We got in the dock in the wheel port. You all are welcome to take a look at it, see any clues you can find that me and my boys couldn't find ourselves. But we brought the prisoners too. They got that coral thing in them. A lot of them, they're stonewalled. We brought them to one of our labs we control on the wheel. And, we're still trying to build up our own scientific resources as he kind of looks over to Talus. Most of our people are mercenaries and warriors. We can steal a ship. We're not as good at looking into biological and all that voodoo. But we hired out some scientists on the wheel. They extracted one of the corals from the people. It didn't go the best. It got cripped up his mind. But he's living. One of them wasn't so lucky. But we got all the prisoners down there. A little bit of a holding pen. You guys can speak to the one that we saved. See if you can put anything together from his ramblings. And take a look at the ones we got in carbonite. And see if you can do anything for him or maybe help him out as well. But those are our two leads. We got the ship and the people.
I'd be happy to help. Does anybody here speak Shiribook?
Is that anything that does the Dominion have any Wookiees or anything like that?
So they do have Wookiees, but not mostly due to because they liberated a lot of hut space and a lot of slaves from the huts, and Wookiees are unfortunately a prime slave species, so you definitely may have come across some Wookiee warriors that have joined the Dominion because they're pissed off at the Republic for not doing as much as they could.
I'm gonna use one of the proficiency bonuses to pick up the language. Caesar would hold up his head. We supposed to have quite a few of them during that time. 12 noble warriors, the people of the trees.
What languages don't you speak?
May surprise you. Basic wasn't even my first.
Also, I forgot to mention too, so it definitely fits for Caesar. The Kashyyyk was in Dominion control before the Heathens took it from them.
Would you say he's been to there before?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The butcher may have made a stop over at Kashyyyk.
I think he would have respected it.
Well, if you could show us the way, and we'll get started as soon as possible. I'll start with the freed prisoners, and if somebody could, or if everybody could, assist me with looking at the ship too afterwards. I'm sure that the records might actually have something if somebody wants to go get a head start on that while I speak to the Wookiees.
Well, I do have some skill with medicine and genetics. Perhaps I may be able to be of some aid. Can help you check them over.
Absolutely.
I gotta admit, I'm just curious as to what that long-term effect of that coral might do. So,
I mean, according to the commander here, if I'm recalling correctly, actually above board, we pulled some of that coral out of the Mandalorians, didn't we?
Yes.
The initial Mandalorians, all the way at the beginning. That was so far back.
But that was recently infected, and we were able to kind of.
Yeah,
it was Mandalorians. It was the Zerka people, and then the Republic, and then the Dominion one. But I think you guys killed the Dominion one on accident. But
yeah.
Okay.
But-
For some reason, I thought I recalled like one of the Mandalorians was there, but
Well, he was there,
yeah.
but he just hadn't been implanted yet.
Yeah, that's a point to be made. So this will be depending on how long that it's been attached to them. That might be the reason why that they incurred complications to their mental state and all that. But I'll definitely take a look, see what we can do. And Uli, yes, I'll definitely take the help.
And even if he can't help you with the scientific aspect of it, he's still pretty strong, and he can just put a hand on them and hold them down.
There's that.
Perfect.
Yeah,
So
I'm not sure.
Oh,
Oh, sorry.
go ahead.
I was going
No,
to say,
go
I
ahead.
didn't know how well geneticist tools will actually come into this, because those are meant to be for something else. But I thought I'd just keep that proficiency just because, I mean, it's got to have something to do with genetics, right?
Oh, for sure.
At some point, that might come into play.
So
So I'll try to use that wherever I can.
so is the whole crew, I guess, dividing and conquering, or are you guys all going towards the capture or the liberated Wookiees and the one that's out of carbonite so far?
Caesar's
Yeah, I
going
should
to
probably
look
go to the
at
ship.
that.
Oh, okay. I'll follow the group then. I have no. I'm not useful in that area, but why not? We're gonna go figure out.
A little bit of the fireworks, it might grab their attention.
Here's to hoping you're not useful. How about that?
What was on the ship again? It was like their data and stuff like that. Or...
So you guys would definitely be able to do both. But yeah, so the ship they've investigated, but they haven't been able to find many clues. But you guys should definitely take your turn investigating as well. With the people, they've got one Wookiee that survived the surgery to remove the York coral tumor, which you guys can speak with, and also try to examine some of the ones they've got frozen on carbonite as well. See if you can get any clues from them as well. But sounds like you guys are going for the Wookiee they've got on that survived the treatment so far. So you guys are escorted within the same safe house. You see Commander Velku go towards one of the walls and begin typing into a data pad. And you see just this kind of wall lift up and open up to an expansive room. And within, you see kind of lab equipment, resources. You see some other scientists within the room, mostly vermin scientists. So the winged insects. So for those, and Vars, you would know this. You've been on Vosh before. They're deep in the heart of Mandalorian space, and they're usually the first people conquered by the Mandalorians. Unfortunately, whenever they get that itch to get back to being a galactic power, they are a very smart species, usually very good at both biological manipulation, but especially technological builds, designs. They can build weapons, ships, pretty much all of it. And you see them crewing a lot of the kind of the science apparatus within this safe house. Also within it too, you see kind of rows of Wookiees frozen in carbonite. And you see within a kind of a glass room on the far side of the enclosure, a Wookiee kind of pacing within it. He's got deep brown fur with some streaks that look like a kind of recent scarring, maybe from a battle, maybe something else. You kind of see burns and kind of scratches deep within the fur. You see him kind of pacing within, and you see Velko go, that's Trolloc. He's the one that the surgery worked out for. We removed the work dish. We removed the coral implant within him, and he's in control of himself. He's talking again, but it's a lot of gibberish. But he's back to himself, ish. If you guys want to go speak with him, you're more than welcome to.
Yes, I think we will. Just real quick, I guess reading over the reports and scans and pre and post surgery might answer this question. So if I can have all that information, that would be perfect. But just right now, is there any known difference between Trolloc and the other Wookiees that didn't survive?
Give me a medicine check.
Medicine check.
I will help him.
Help me.
I will
Right.
read over your shoulder and give a layman's perspective that's somehow proficient in medicine.
I shall give critical analysis.
All right. What's that plus 4 or 5?
+4.
Nice. Yeah, you take a look over at the readings, and one of the things that becomes apparent to you as you look it over between Charlock and the two Wookiees that died from the removal. So you guys, you've done part of this procedure before. You removed it from the ones that were recently infected. And you saw that the coral network kind of expand, or was starting to expand between their body. But luckily, you had yours early enough that it was easy to remove. These guys have been infected for some time, and it seemed like it had spread throughout their body. The treatment that got it out so far was able to remove a decent bit of it. Kind of a lot of them, like the heart, the brain, a lot of the core functions that would completely kill the person on a failure. That's why Charlock survived and the other two passed away. Because you see, as soon as that was removed, if it's not done in just the precise manner, it spreads a chemical, kind of pretty much like a cyanide chemical that just takes out the life form if it's removed improperly after it's fully kind of fitted itself within the host.
Okay, so maybe I just want to check to make sure I understood this correctly. So pretty much the Wookiees that died was kind of a trial and error. So the doctor that was conducting the surgery was like, oh, okay, this is going to require a little bit more finesse. And then Trolloc was just almost lucky.
Well, Charlock was certainly
based on how
definitely lucky. He's actually the second one that went through it. So 3 have been done so far. The first they went through and they were just still learning about what this actually was, and the Wookiee passed away. They tried a different approach for the second. It tried to mimic it and that's succeeded for Charlock. And then they tried to mimic it for the third, but unfortunately, they weren't able to get it just precise enough, and the Wookiee passed away.
Okay, and then were there, based on this reporting and everything, are there any sort of anomalies that remain or that look different compared to what I've already researched and everything from all the previous individuals?
So nice with the 22, or 24 actually, I think it is. You would notice a couple anomalies that look a little different. Or sorry, 18. With 18, you would notice a couple of things that look a little bit different from the reports you've seen. So with it, you've noticed, because with the ones you were kind of operated on earlier, that were the Republic worker and the Dominion soldier, you noticed that it was kind of spread throughout. But afterwards, when you took it out, it seemed like you'd gotten most of the bits. Charlock, he seems in control of his own faculties, but a lot of like the creative and kind of like the self-determination points of his brain seem scarred. So he's alive, he's thinking for himself, he's able to talk, communicate, but it's almost like he inherited like a psychotic disease, not psychotic, but a disease that's kind of impairing his like ability to think and process.
Okay. With that in mind, I'm gonna look to Caesar and ask him, "Hey, let's. I'll let you do the talking. I'm gonna take some notes and ask away. Let's try to get a feel for this guy's current mental state and see. Let's start out basic questions, maybe. Do you know where you are? That type of thing, and then get more complicated from there and see where his thinking falls."
Yeah, you shared with Caesar basically the state of this guy's mind, right?
Yes, I'll let you know that it looks according to these reports and everything, and I'm also like sharing it with you as well, Vars. It seems that it's spread to their brains and it's affected, at least in Trollocs' case, it's affected his creative portions and communicative portions, and he's got potentially a bit of insanity that's resulting from it. But an insane Wookiee is not going to be fun to deal with. So hopefully we can try to find some sort of quick remedy potentially to this.
Well,
Alright, was that right there, Tegan? This is something. Would you say this is something Caesar would be commonly versed with? Not necessarily this specific thing with the coral, but more as soldiers who have gotten a bit of brain damage or something has kind of broken their head before Caesar having to deal with them.
So Caesar may prepare for like PTSD and kind of like things like that. So that portion probably definitely be familiar to him, but with this is it's more of a biological than psychological level. So it may be some areas similar, but definitely a little bit different than what he's seen before.
I mean, if you're going to ask him questions, you might as well ask him if he remembers who or what did this to him.
Leave that one for near the end. If that's brought to his mind, it could trigger a bit of improper reaction that would cut the interview short.
You mean the Wookiee losing his mind and trying to rip your arms off?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, you need your arms. All right.
I mean, I can give you new ones. It'll be okay.
No, you can't.
Once Caesar does start asking questions, I would like to perform my own scans using whatever tools I have at my disposal there in the lab.
All right. Yeah, Caesar's gonna go in there. Gonna start interacting with this file.
Definitely. So you see them tap on the data pad and open up the kind of the glass enclosure. You see the pacing Wookiee within Sherlock. You see kind of once you get inside, the glass on the outside is opaque, hard to see through. And you see Charlock look at you and kind of give a Wookiee roar and begin kind of speaking in Shriwook, which fortunately Caesar does understand. At first, it's kind of a little bit of a gibberish. It's like, who, what are you? What are you doing? Who are you here? What's going on? And you kind of see like a panicked expression as he tries to put pieces together in his own mind and figure out who you are as you enter the room.
This is probably one of the first times he's just like menacing aura kind of fades. And while he knows people are looking at him, it's definitely like he's in his mind. He's also alone with this Wookiee, and he's keeping that in mind. And from this menacing aura, it slowly comes this like more, not purely comfort, but more as like a commanding officer going down to the sick. And so he'll say in the native tongue, Misa Soldier, Misa here to ask questions to make sure you are safe. Are you warrior? Are you walker?
And you see as you kind of ask him if he's a warrior or worker, and you kind of see he like you get this out of a lot of gibberish. Like he's speaking Shriwook, but you see just kind of random words coming in and out of the language. Like Caesar clearly knows Shriwook, but it's gibberish mixed in with these words. But you hear him clearly go eventually, I fight to stop the fighting. That was my role. I fight to stop fighting.
Peacekeeper. You can call me Clive. And he'll extend the hand out. Extend the hand out to the Wookiee for him like to take it.
Perfect. And Caesar, so not related to him standing the hand out, but roll an athletics check.
I am worried.
And then right after, the critical.
I am worried.
So dismembered what?
No, he's not. So this is just kind of something to say. You you probably fought alongside Wookiees, but you struggle kind of reading their role. Wookiees all look big. They all look muscular. You kind of guess he's a peacekeeper, but you're not really able to see like if he's got like the musculature or the stance of a warrior. You kind of see it, kind of just look at him, and it's hard to see. But eventually, as you kind of hold your hand out, you see him just kind of continue pacing. He looks at it for a moment, and you kind of see him throw a paw, not at you, but kind of like throw a paw at the air. And he continues pacing behind you after letting you know that he fights to stop fighting.
Yusa's fight is not done. Much fighting continues. Much fighting. But Yusa can help in peace into stopping that. Please, take my hand. Let us sit.
Oh, you see, he kind of see it. He thinks about it. You kind of see him just go. You have a Wookiee roar, not like a angry or violent roar, but definitely a frustrated roar. He kind of throws his arms in the air. It's like another kind of stream of gibberish, kind of words that don't quite make sense. And he goes, "What do you want with me? I should be." And you can see him like fade off as he goes, like, I should be.
I want answers. I have questions. You have those answers. And you should be answering them. It is your fight. It is your fight to stop the fighting. Please, if you sit, I can regale you with some of the tales I've learned with people. Some of the tales of myself fighting with them against tyranny and to stop the fighting. Some stories of them becoming free and what they have done with their life. And after I am done telling you those, would you be willing, if they please you enough, to answer my questions?
And you see him kind of just continue pacing. He goes, stories. We need to stop them. And you kind of see as he kind of continues to go through, more gibberish goes through, and he kind of continues pacing. But he does pace as he kind of looks over to you to continue speaking.
We shall stop them. You can give your story first, but first you must sit down. The more you walk, the more you run, the less you'll have grasp over. Breathe.
All right, roll a persuasion check.
All right. Can I use an inspiration? That's an 11. Lots of 11s. I'm gonna reload the roll 20 real quick. May I use one of the inspirations we got? How many do we have left?
I think 2.
Any objections?
Nope.
Go for it.
While I roll this, give me one.
So you see he's still listening, he's still attentive, but he continues his kind of almost manic-like pacing as you begin to tell your story.
He'll simply tell some stories of some of his old time during the Dominion, his travels to the planet, the songs he heard, try and see if this man here recognizes any of them. And if none of that gets through, none of that can really click in, he'll try a different approach. And he'll instead go with some of that aura returning to him. Just, you fought the invaders, yes?
You see him kind of a quizzical look. I fought many. I fought Republic. I fought the Dominion. I fought any who thought to threaten the people of Kashyyyk. And you kind of see him like get frustrated. But someone they captured me. They captured me.
They still captured you.
can Talus come in at this point?
Oh, sure.
And while Caesar continues to ask questions, I'm gonna try to do another scan of him, my own scan this time, to see if I can see if there's anything new, maybe, especially with the questioning and everything, and him seemingly getting progressively angrier and angrier and a little bit more anxious and everything with what's going on. See if I can notice anything else, and um, I'm really trying to see how the removal of this and maybe the pieces that are still in there are still affecting him, and then hopefully I can help this guy or determine whether it's too far gone or anything like that.
For sure. Yeah, give me a either a medicine check or we'll say bioanalysis kit or one or two.
Bioanalysis. Heck yeah. Am I able to temp boost myself as well?
Yeah, you've got time.
If I see him doing that, can I offer to give him some help?
Yeah,
I
because you
am
got
proficient with
bioanalysis.
Yep,
Yeah,
I am
go ahead.
proficient with it.
Yeah.
Like,
Hell yeah.
1 second, doctor. Just slightly up. I find that's a little bit better. There you go.
Ah, yes, you're right. It's been a
Now
been
the
a
base
while
pairs
since
line
we
up
conducted a.
perfectly. See that?
Absolutely. Nice.
Nice. You get a good scan of the Wookiee. You see they've removed the Yorick coral pieces, but his mind, it's it's a difficult procedure, but it wasn't done precisely. There's scarring around some of the areas of his brain where they took out the coral, and it's kind of cut into his functions. The way that they did it for him, it kept him alive. Wasn't dead like the others, and he's free. His mind is his own, but his mind is scarred. It's damaged, and this is something maybe with research and time you could fix for him, but for your current resources and currently where you are now, that this is just how his brain will function. But you do see kind of some of the points where whoever performed the surgery may have went wrong, and you do see that this is something that, if done expertly, done very well, could potentially resolve the other Wookiees who are kept in carbonite right now, and free them with their minds intact.
Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely going to share this information with any of the doctors that the commander had mentioned that were there on the wheel. If that's all that they're going to have, or if there's an additional facility that they can be taken to, I'll definitely recommend you need the best of the best for this to work. Anything less is going to be is close to failure at that point. It's on a knife's edge, literally.
And as you tell that to the Verpin, you hear them kind of chittering. The Verpin are kind of big insects, and you hear them chitter and then look over to Commander Velko, and you see him nod and go, all right. The bugs want to know if you want to try your hand at performing the surgery on one of them. See if you can give them a little bit of inspiration on what to follow.
What would surgery fall under?
It's going to be medicine and a little bit behind the scenes.
Medicine.
So Talos would know this. There's a good chance that if you do it wrong, the Wookiee straight dies. Good chance if you do it all right, the Wookiee winds up in the same lane as Charlock. But if you do it perfectly or do it well, very well, you can free this Wookiee, bring him back to himself, and give them a procedure they can follow to do the same for the other Wookiees.
I will. I'll look to Caesar and I'll say I'm not. Well, I'll look at Charlotte. Do you understand basic?
You see him nod, and Caesar, you would hear him kind of howling of the Wookiee grunts in the Shriwok language. I know many languages. Gotta know the languages of those who try to oppress.
Caesar would look over and nod. He does.
Okay. Trolloc, we have the capability to attempt to free the fear that seems to be inside your mind right now. There is a corruption from the invaders, as far as I can tell, and I've seen this before. There's a risky procedure, a medical procedure, and I'd be willing to do it, but only with your consent. And you need to know that there is the chance that you won't survive.
Oh, I may have said this wrong. Charlotte, you guys
Okay.
can't afford to help Charlotte, but you could definitely help some of the other Wookiees that are in Carbonite with that procedure.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Well, I'll rephrase. I'll go back in time and say that it was, from what we've learned, I would like to let you know that your brothers and sisters that we've currently have sustained in Carbonite, we have the potential to be able to help them to run a procedure much like what has already been done to you, but we've identified a few anomalies and a better way forward. It does come with it does come with a risk. However, I would feel more comfortable pushing forward with this procedure and assisting. And I look back at the other doctors that are there observing. I'd feel more comfortable proceeding with this if I had your consent to do so to help your people.
You see, he kind of pauses for a minute, then begins his shriek again. We need warriors to fight the shadows. We need to fight the shadows. We need to go where the shadows go and fight the shadows. Do what you need to help us fight the shadows.
I'll
look at Caesar. I'm assuming that you're going to translate everything to me.
Yeah. Caesar translates
third party
all.
stuff, and I go, shadows. Would I know anything about Kashyyyk and Wookiee culture and things like that?
Definitely. Anybody proficient in lore can make a lore check. And Caesar, are you proficient in lore?
No.
You gave me 1-2 at disadvantage.
I shall roll my disadvantages. 14.
Nice. So as you guys kind of listen to the shadow bit, it seems like a little odd. 13, nice. Yeah, so Caesar, as well as Dash, you are pretty surprisingly well versed in Wookiee culture. You too would realize that when they speak of the shadows, you can kind of run it through your brain. It doesn't sound as familiar as it should. But it kind of clicks after a moment that when they speak of fighting the shadows, the Wookiees with Kashyyyk below kind of the habitable areas, deep beneath kind of the canopies of their trees, there's an area called the Shadowlands, where there are kind of vast beasts that are kind of predatory by nature, dangerous, in areas that sometimes haven't even been touched by kind of sentient people or Wookiees or any of the other species. And sometimes it's a proving ground for the warriors to go down to, but even some of the toughest warriors usually don't go down to the true floor of the Shadowlands. So them speaking of fighting the shadows, he's probably thinking of fighting the Shadowlands and fighting some of the creatures within.
Cool. I'll make notes of all this, of course, and I'm still waiting on. Well, I'll press him again, still gently. Just Trolloc, we will look into this. We will assist you or help your people in fighting these shadows. We need to take care of you first to make sure that you're able to do that, and I need to help you help your people. So before I can help your people, I need to know that you are going to allow me and those with me to attempt to do this and understand that there's a risk that comes with this as well.
you see he continues pacing, he continues kind of speaking with the mixture of gibberish, and he goes, whatever you need to do, we need to fight the shadows. We need to fight the shadows. And he kind of continues to repeat, we need to fight the shadows.
I agree.
Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry. I agree, and we'll do our best, and I'll be back later to check on you. And I'll just put a hand if I can, if he's not like pacing and whatever. I'll just kind of put a hand on his arm for a moment, and then turn to leave. Callus loses an arm.
no, he continues pacing, but he does let you he pauses for a moment as you put your hand on his arm. And he kind of gives you a look. You see within his eyes just kind of a mixture of not understanding, fear, but a little bit of strong beat of determination. And he kind of gives you a nod, and he goes back to pacing and continuing his ramblings. Before we go to the surgery piece, Caesar, or anybody else, any questions you guys have for Charlotte?
I had a general question. Given we can visibly see that he's a little not right?
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Would I get any sort of sense in the Force, like maybe this is something I could heal out of him, or this is something that it's just going to take a lot more focused skill? Like, can I see the breaks in him more clearly than maybe actual tools could do?
Sure, give me an insight check, because you kind of feel about in the Force.
Insight. Oh.
Reaction. Hope action.
Is that advantage?
Advantage.
Much better.
You kind of sense him within the Force, and you feel it's kind of weird as you sense him through. You feel kind of scars in his mind, these little dead portions, like not dead, but absent portions almost. And you kind of feel it, especially you were helping Talos with the scan too, and you see those little absent portions are kind of where some of that coral resided before it was kind of unfortunately a little bit briskly removed. And you see this is something that could be healed, but it would take kind of time and dedication. This is something that would probably take a couple of weeks of your kind of intense focus upon.
Okay.
So out of game, it's something that could be healed for Charlotte, but it would take at least a week of downtime for you to be able to completely kind of get him back to normal.
It's good to know our options. And then I guess, would it be able to possibly tell, maybe I missed this, do they have, out of all the ones that are still frozen, aside from the ones that died, do they have like a triage list? Like, these ones are much farther along and we're probably not going to have any success, versus these ones look like it hasn't grown very much and we can have better success with those?
They do have records, and the kind of the noteworthy or interesting thing with them is they do look like they're all implanted within about that same period. Like they kind of went through and kind of planted through them on a ship.
Okay. And then I guess we didn't figure it out, but I would look at Caesar and ask him, does he know who did this to them?
Caesar will look, and we'll ask, just like, who said this to you, son?
And you hear kind of start muttering, the sky's birds captured me in the Shadowlands. The sky's birds, they caught me in their talons. Everybody who wants to, give me an intelligence check after hearing that.
I'm wicked smart.
Wow. I imagine. Oh my god! It's like sky's birds. Probably a ship. Charlotte.
Yeah, birds are in the sky. Yeah, that's
weird way.
Talos flexes his intelligence, and I feel like Talos is probably the one that watches the most, at least keeps up to date on current events. And you know that the symbol of the Crusaders is a falcon soaring through the skies, so kind of a wing above the skies. You probably guessed that the Sky's Talons, probably that Falcon or the Crusaders, is what captured him in the Shadowlands.
Here's a potentially hazardous
I'll definitely
idea.
tell Vars that as soon as that kind of like clicks.
Okay. Well, Vars has been recording some of these combats, right? So would he be able to pull up a Chazrak and a Vong warrior?
Hey yo, when that gets pulled up, Caesar's giving this guy a very wide berth, very wide gap between him.
Hell, I mean, did he react at all to Caesar's amphistaff?
Oh no!
As you guys pull up the Vong and hollow recordings of the Vong and the Chazrak and the Amphistaff, just confusion. Like he looks and kind of sees the Amphistaff on Caesar's arms, and kind of he doesn't seem angered by it, and he sees just kind of bewilderment as he looks at the Chazrak and the Yuzon Vong portraits.
It's almost Vars will, puzzled as well, say, I think it's almost worse that he doesn't recognize this.
No, absolutely worse.
Yeah.
Either they've had a full alliance, or the Crusaders somehow stole the technology. It's more likely the former than the latter. If they have an alliance.
Well, an alliance? I mean, they're not flying around in rocks. What do we even really know about these Crusaders anyway?
So, no lore check necessary. They're, with the last 15, 20-ish years, they're a newer group on the scene. And they are very, some Mandalorians even, kind of respect their ideals if they don't agree with them, because they are a very self-reliant group. They believe in personal strength above all. They think that the galactic governments, the Republic, the Dominion, even the Mandalorians and the Hutt space are weak because they've grown to rely upon each other and their overall kind of galactic network than making their own individual planets strong and able to hold themselves up. They value martial talent, they value fighting, they value kind of inner strength. And they are very critical of both the Jedi, the Sith, and any who would seek to have others fight their battles for them.
And thus, Caesar's just it just makes sense that they would have respect of the invaders.
Well, I mean, except for their metal ships. We've seen how they react to anything that's not grown out of the earth.
This is fair. But to steal this technology and have proper use of it, it could also be that the shadows that the Wookiee is speaking of could be the Vong landing on the planet of Kashyyyk and using the Shadowlands as cover. And it just so happens the Crusader caught them. Also a possibility, but less likely in my eyes.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure Wookiees can see in the dark pretty well, and they would have at least recognized the silhouette, the outline of a Chazrak or a Vong warrior.
This is true.
This Wookiee looked at me like I was an idiot.
Keep an eye out for any Crusaders with their own amphistaffs.
Yeah, noted.
And as you guys mentioned, the Shadowlands, both in basic and basic as you guys are speaking, he kind of says one last thing. He goes, the animals, they're becoming crazy. They're becoming monsters. The spiders, the Katars, they were growing. They were becoming vicious. They were hunting the Wookiees themselves and coming above out of the Shadowlands to hunt. I had to stop them. I had to fight to stop them from fighting.
The hell's got him so animated, Caesar?
He's speaking of the monstrosities below there, the beasts. They've grown more wild. And you'll basically give a one-to-one translation before adding on to just be it the Vong or the Crusaders, something is interfering with the wildlife there.
Well, I guess we know where we're going next.
To return to there again, this would be.
I hate spiders.
Why? They are so delicious.
Callus has not looked at anybody in a threatening way, but you'll see raised eyebrows, piercing gaze. It's not an intimidation thing. It's just, are you kidding me? Like,
every man has a line.
Immediately pulls out a data pad and starts looking up wildlife and sees Y-shock. Nope. Absolutely not. You do not have your doctor for this. See ya.
Well,
there's
maybe.
another possibility we haven't considered too.
That's
what if these crusaders stumbled upon this stuff without knowing what it actually is, and are unwittingly doing the work of somebody else? I don't know how they would come across something like this, but maybe it was put there? Because how would they have gotten a hold of something like this and have been able to use it for, I mean, according to that PowerPoint you made me watch, they've only been here, what, a month since Vela blew up? Something like that?
As far as we know. And
so assume maybe they've been here for a few months before that, if they had time to blow up a whole planet?
I mean, I'm no tactician or strategist, but with the surgical, pun intended, proficiency that they've struck, and how barely anybody in the galaxy even knows as survivors is not really something that is a result of their attacks. They could have been here longer, so
they could be. But again, how long did it take you to study plants and achieve something close to mastery in them?
6 months.
All right, well, you're the exception, I guess.
I'm just kidding. I'm a Tony Stark. I'm the Tony Stark of our generation.
But usually it takes a while, right? How could people who we assume don't have any sort of pre-existing knowledge about this stuff come across this stuff and know how to use it fluently that fast? I mean, we've done pretty well, but to be that fluent in it that you know how to put it on and do it correctly? Or
I'm not exactly
weird.
A scientist or anything, but I've seen what they do to living beings. The Chazroks, they don't feel pain. They don't react. They don't have a sense of identity. They're like droids to us. And what can't a determined engineer do with an astromech or a protocol or an assault droid? They can bend it to their will. They understand droids inside out. Maybe these Vong have an understanding of organics that we haven't even scratched the surface of. I mean,
well, if what you've told me and what I've seen so far is true, the data doesn't lie. It's definitely different.
I mean, they're growing their ships. Yeah, I can't even wrap my head around that. They don't need
well,
the air.
Hopefully,
ground, dirt.
The surgeries that we conduct today will help us for the future.
Did you guys do? Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, that's fine.
You do see kind of Charlock after that last bit. You can see just not frustration, but definitely kind of like his mind trying to grasp things he's no longer able to, just kind of overwhelmed. He continues pacing and just kind of howling. You kind of realize he's kind of hit the end of his rope for questioning and for being able to kind of articulately communicate with you. But after bringing it up to Commander Velku and his Roche his Verpin scientist, you are brought to a surgical facility. So if you guys do want to attempt it, you can try to see if you can perform a surgery and map out a route to potentially liberate the Wookiees who had been under the snare of the York coral implants.
Or in other words, dump all of our buffs possible on Talus. We got Defiance, we got, what was it called again? Critical Analysis, Help Action, Guidance. You got Temp Boost?
Well, Vars is proficient in medicine and still has his Defiance, so let's see.
That's at least advantage plus a 1d4.
Plus a +4 from Critical Analysis.
And your tech boost would apply, so plus a 1d6 too.
Anyone got guidance?
Unfortunately, guidance and tech boost wouldn't stack.
Ah, dang.
Would Uli be able to use since he has healer, would he be able to use the trauma kit to try to give them some sort of bonus? Like maybe just being there, like scalpel, like even if he's just that guy, like cleaning, getting the suction in there, keeping the wound clean.
That's 100% what I saw Vars doing, because
like
I know what these tools do, but I am not good enough to do this in a nice way.
Or he could be the sterilization tech. I mean, that's kind of what the trauma kit is.
So either Uli or Vars, you guys can roll medicine, and what that'll do is give you
You've got medicine
if you beat a 15, you can add your proficiency bonus to Talus's roll.
I have 2 reactions for help action.
If Vars wants to try, I actually don't have proficiency in it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so you'd have to have proficiency to help with that.
Yeah. I am proficient in medicine.
That's why I was trying to see if I could do something different with it.
What am I able to add outside, like just on my own temp boost, you said?
Yep.
Okay, so I've got temp boost plus it's medicine.
Mm-hmm.
Plus that. That'll be at advantage. And then, let's see, do we have careful checks? Let me check your rolls.
Oh, no, so this is a pretty fraught check, so this would be straight roll for it.
Okay. Can I do exertion?
Not with this roll, unfortunately.
Okay. In that case, I'll just roll.
Well, hold on. So Caesar or Vars, one of you guys in medicine check, roll. See if you can beat a 15 to see if you can add a +3 to him.
Okay.
Well, Caesar, how wise do you feel?
Caesar's actually quite good with medicine. He is a licensed
dentist.
Yep.
All right. Well, if you feel confident, go for it.
I'm going to roll a 14.
Maybe I'll spend my Defiant and give it to you.
either
I
14 or 11.
technically can just reaction help action you for your medicine check.
You guys have 2 Defiance because Dash is human too.
Yeah.
All right. I'll give it a whirl.
Reaction, help action.
Okay.
Hey, there you go.
Okay. All right. So that's a +3 to Talus's roll.
Yep.
+3, +4, plus a D4, plus whatever temp boost is right now. Is that D4 or D6?
D6.
All right. Well, it's up to you now, good doctor.
Just don't roll on that one.
All right, you got advantage on the check. Roll some medicine.
Oof.
Okay, so roll the D4 or D6 and add +4 to it.
D4, D6, and +3?
+4. That's +7 actually altogether. Oh, you already have D6 in there. So D4, so +10, 33, nice, or 32. Yeah, so you are able to expertly perform the surgery, not only keeping the Wookiee test subject alive, but you are able to completely remove the York coral in a way that keeps the Wookiee's mind intact and doesn't leave him with kind of the abrasions or with the kind of mental unstableness that Charlock was left with after his procedure. And you see that the Verpin were kind of recording Talos and Caesar. I think Caesar was assisting with that. So Talos and Caesar's going to process going through with Vars, giving some good field medic experience as well to the effort. And we're able to kind of map out this process through the recording and just watching your efforts. And they feel fairly confident that they can reduplicate this with the remaining Wookiee slaves who've been infected and potentially free them from the York coral exposure that they've got. So you guys succeed. The Wookiee is kept alive and with full mental faculties once he wakes up from his surgery.
Round of applause for the good doctor.
I knew you had it in you.
Wonderful teamwork.
And I will mention to you with this role, there's a high chance the Wookiee died. So you guys fortunately aced it, keeping him alive, and making sure he wasn't brain dead after he came out. So the Wookiee is alive, and you guys are able to not only get that recording out to the Verpin scientists, but they are able to give you a recording and the data as well that they gathered during a procedure that you could share with other factions as well.
Question.
Absolutely.
Caesar would be very curious on this Wookiee's oral health. He knows they don't brush, but has he been eating the right things?
You
They
see
got the caveman diet, man. Their teeth are pure white and perfect and sharp.
You see some razor sharp teeth. Definitely not cared for the way some other the species do, but definitely they are well maintained, fit for fit that they could do some damage if they bit, even something hard like tree bark or even maybe some armors as well. It looks like it's in good condition.
Seal of approval from Caesar. The Butcher of the Rim, seal of approval. The sticker.
Well, you give the Wookiee the sticker as he recovers from the surgery. That's where we'll wrap up today. So you guys have begun your investigations within the kind of what's going on within Kashyyyk, finding that there's something taking place in the Shadowlands, kind of making monsters of the animals that were there. And we'll wrap up, or we'll begin next session with you guys examining the ship that was carrying those Wookiee slaves, seeing if you find anything cool there, and then beginning our adventure to Kashyyyk, and most likely taking a dip into the Shadowlands as well, and figuring out what mysteries are going on in there.
All right.
Maybe without your resident doctor.
Maybe.
Perfect. Well,
Your real life player hates spiders too. So.
Just punch it in the nose, it'll stop it.
Oh, that's rough. This could be rough.
You may regret going melee.
Around me somewhere, but I think the lads wandered off now.
What?
Oh, when I first sat down for the game, I saw a spider meandering up near the picture of Danny DeVito I have taped over the top of my computer. But he seems to have gone away now. Like I said, I was hoping
He's underneath your desk.
Probably not, honestly. Though that wouldn't be minded either. I'm hoping the spiders take care of the fly situation here.
Yeah, that's my whole thought. I don't mind spiders. I hate flies. So I'd rather the spider kill the flies, mosquitoes. Yep. Wife hates them, though. It usually makes me kill them. But
I'm sorry, have you ever seen a camel spider? Nope.
Yeah.
Well, you're in a different part of the world. You have like real spiders.
No, bird spider? Nope.
You've got
Black widow?
We've got like Michigan spiders, which like I don't think we have any bad spiders. Do we, Keith?
Yeah, there's the brown recluse, but they're pretty rare.
They're rare.
Yeah.
We got plenty of brown recluses here. I honestly prefer it when they're larger. It makes it easier to keep track of them and not necessarily move them, but make sure that they've not scuttled out of the cup and paper trick.
That's down in Texas. We had tarantulas. Like seriously, like don't mess with those. There's like these spiders and they jump. And you don't know they jump. They look like a normal spider, and then they jump at you. No, I don't mess with them either.
That's
Tar-
definitely fair.
Like
That's definitely
tarantulas, like
Great.
if you scream, they will chase your voice. Like they
Great.
know they can hear your voice. Like they will chase you down if you scream.
Great
So that
imagery
scene from
for,
Home Alone.
Yo, I think I'll try and use that if I ever find a chance.
Hey guys, I'm arachnophobic. Oh, let me tell you all these terrible spider stories. Let me just
No,
get these.
I have a good
Yeah.
spider story.
hold on. Well, so thank you guys all for attending. Before we go into, we're still online, guys. We're still. Thanks
David
everybody for
Attenborough
attending.
section.
Come on, next Tuesday. That's my next game. Yeah, I'm not doing many games this month. Next Tuesday, Keith's Stranded, session 2. So join us again 6:30 there. And Keith, anything you want to add before?
Let me think about that. Yeah, so I think we're gonna try to explore and find out kind of the mystery of what happened to the guys and if getting bit by one of those matters.
And now I'm panicking. I got bit.
I'm made of metal.
Yeah.
Even though I got bit,
This
I'm
is
made of
true.
metal. I'm safe, right?
Well, we'll find out next time. So join us for that. And I think Todd's on. So I'm gonna do a raid at Todd, and hopefully I remember how to raid. Let's see. Okay, I think we're raiding, but see you guys all next week. And enjoy your night.